Thank you for tuning into the latest episode of the SplashCast, your go-to podcast for news and discussion in the world of sports. Yes, sir. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 188 of the SplashCast, Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. Once again, I'm blessed and highly favored. Happy to be here with you guys once again. And let's talk historic Black colleges and universities.
Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the deal. We here, Monday Night Raw, HBCU news around the culture, followed by whatever is in season. It is here, hoops and football. To round out the night, let's get into it. Nor what we got on the docket for these quick hits. Pause if necessary.
No, we are starting out with Brad Holmes, former football player for the North Carolina A&T Aggies and now general manager for the Detroit Lions. The entire coaching staff, I guess executive crew, all wore his jersey this year. Last year, they wore Dan Campbell's college jersey. This was we don't get that much love. So for them to choose him and do it, fantastic. Shout out to the Lions, one of the organizations me and you have kind of raved about for a long time. Just doing the right thing the right way.
Listen, you've never seen anybody else do this. This is what you call instilling culture. This is what you call building a family.
Dan Campbell is the cultural creator. That's his.
Yeah. Dan Campbell is
biting kneecaps. Ain't that what he said?
Yeah, biting kneecaps. And he said we're going to be 3-13. Oh, man, my bad. But this is also, this is wonderful that Brad Holmes gets the accolades that he deserves. Right. He's gotten it now for 3 years. For you to come and build a team up that historically has been bad for 20 years.
Yeah, and give up your guy, give up your what we assume to be your ring of honor. I don't think he's the greatest, but he's probably a top 5 Lion behind Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders. And giving up Matt Stafford and putting this team around there.
Yeah, and just building a culture where everybody feels included and loved. And he stands by his players. They have tried to get him to abandon Jamison Williams at every turn, and every turn he's like, nope, he's a good kid. And every time that he gives him a vote of confidence, and that staff gives him a vote of confidence, he goes out and has 100 yards receiving and runs a 4-1 whatever he decides to run. So, shout out to Brad Holmes, man, great guy, and I'm excited. I can't wait to see what else they do. It's been a long time since they've been the premier team in the division that I've seen.
Right. Next up, we're going to talk about the HBCU players who are drafted. Of course, I'm going to go down the list because a lot of these players, as me and Reggie have talked about for a long time, started out at HBCUs and have moved over to Power 5 schools because they have played so well. So we're going to go ahead and start with number 2, Travis Hunter, former Jackson State Tiger, who went number 2 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Congratulations. Number 2, we had B. Shoal Tootin. Y'all remember him. He was an extremely good running back who played for A&T, transferred to Virginia Tech. He was drafted 104 in the 4th round.
Fastest running back at the combine this year.
Right. And I was in my head, there's got to be a way for us to get him, but it wasn't going to materialize, unfortunately. Then we had Carson Vinson, who still played at Alabama A&M. The Baltimore Ravens, as much as they frustrate me at the receiver position, they do so many other things right that it's
every other thing.
Yes, right. You legitimately just can't get right at one thing. Everything else you knock out of the park. And we'll talk about their draft later, but this was an excellent pick, 6'6", 314. My God.
Yeah. I'm surprised that he fell that far, but this was a defensive heavy draft.
Right.
But he's bookend. He's a bookend tackle. You won't see him really get traded anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts.
Exactly. You have Shedeur Sanders drafted 144 in the 5th round. Of course, once again, started at Jackson State and ended up in Colorado. You have Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, who was an Alabama State football player. Mm-hmm. He was a cornerback or receiver. I can't remember which one it is. running back, excuse me, for Alabama State. And then what, 20 undrafted free agents looks like?
20 undrafted free agents and even more getting camp invites.
Right.
So you actually drafted undrafted free agent normally signed, and then you have more that get the camp invites in order to earn a spot. With the competitiveness that is now growing in sports because it's being basically looked at as an academy type thing. I'm just happy that all these guys are getting chances, and you never know, man. The UFL, y'all, if you don't watch it, it's catching on slowly, but it's giving people an opportunity.
All I tell people is if you at the house and there's nothing on, especially right now, we kind of running out of stuff to watch, especially as the Cleveland Cavs are beating the Miami Heat 106-59. That's not even a 2K score. That is just we cutting your ass. So as we run out of things to watch, the USFL is definitely the way to go. Hey, I couldn't watch this. I cut this off. I was like, all right, YouTube, you know, I don't like to see people get whooped like this. This not even enjoyable.
We'll get to it, but yeah, the top 2 seeds letting y'all know, yeah, we were for real.
Always were. We weren't playing with y'all, and if you thought we would be played with, I'm gonna play back.
Is it 50 burger?
Right. all yours, all yours, all yours, all yours. Give me 1 second while I get something pulled up here, because we are about to honor an HBCU legend. If I can get it pulled up here, and I can. Yes, here it is right here. Dick Barnett, former Tennessee State legend, New York Nick. He played 14 years in the NBA, died on April 26th. He was 88 years old, the first Black player to be named NAIA All-American in 1957. God, I'm born in 56. Playing at Tennessee A&I State University, which was renamed to Tennessee State. He led TSU to a championship, an NAIA championship in 57, 58, and 59. Which was the first team to win 3 consecutive national championships and was inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame in 2019.
Yeah, man. And then he also had he later taught sports management at St. John's. He always was in the game and teach. If he wasn't playing the game or coaching the game, he was teaching the game. So shout out to Dick Barnett, man. Life well lived, job well done. Rest in peace.
Reminds me of the coach for FAMU. Yeah, in my free time, I do a little baseball umpiring if need be. Whatever y'all need me to do, I can do that. Next up, people who can do a little bit of everything. Howard University track star alum Darcy Kahn reemerges in the WWE is Mason Holiday. This is, I think, the second or third player, HBCU athlete to move into the WWE. I think that they're slowly becoming a pipeline of, hey, I want to keep doing something. This allows me to use my physical stature to do something and make a ton of money. She was also valedictorian, which is crazy. And then, yes, it was her, Alyssa Lane, who is at Virginia Union playing volleyball. And I feel like there was one more. But yeah, I love this. And I hope that we continue to create more WWE superstars from HBCUs.
Hey, man. 2020, this 2020s is a decade of new sports. You got pickleball, we've got now wrestling is now an actual athletic or athlete pipeline where, like you said, you're not getting just run-of-the-mill actors. You're getting athletes that then in turn create an avenue of wealth and an avenue of income. So as you said before, shout out to Darcy Kahn. Hey, man, Also, black women taking over wrestling. If you haven't noticed, they are
Right.
like the main attraction.
Right.
So we'll definitely be watching. Definitely will be watching.
And you can get rich wrestling, big rich.
Yep.
So yeah, anytime that we can find a way for us to, continue to secure a bag, we gonna support that. And yeah, congratulations. And once again, I'm gonna say it loud.
You back in
After
the bracket.
graduating from Howard as valedictorian, she wasn't no slouch in the classroom either. She's just good at
Which means
everything.
this plan and a course of action is well thought out.
Right.
Don't be surprised if she's the new Vince, the new McMahon family.
Exactly. And that's the other part is we talk about sports, and I know sometimes athletes get kind of pigeonholed, but she's a true student athlete. You don't, as much trash as we talk about Howard, you don't just mistakenly end up valedictorian. So
Nope.
congratulations to her. Now I got to go find her and follow her on Instagram so I can support. And now we might have to watch Monday Night Raw on Tuesday so we can support HBCUs.
I'm with it.
You ain't watching it on Monday because you'll be here with us. And that's the
You'll
only place
be
you should
here
be.
with us. Yeah.
With that being said, we have completed the HBCU portion of this. We're going to come back and do a little bit of basketball. And I mean, not the way these people getting whooped. It's either good, it's either real good or it's real bad. It's very little in the middle in the NBA right now.
Whoa.
I think I'm clear with that. I think I'm clear. With that said, we will be right back. Reggie has already partaken. I'm going to wait to after I get done with basketball, and then I'm going to have the pre-celebratory drink when we go into football.
Hell no. I told you from in pre-pod. I was like, listen.
I heard it. I heard it. I was like,
I
somebody in there
like,
is not
what
happy.
the fuck was that?
Somebody's not
got
happy,
kids, y'all.
Yeah. And that means 2 ass whoopings for Reggie.
Woo!
But we shall come right back.
Hey, SplashCast fans, are you ready to take your obsession to the next level? Join the SplashCast community on Instagram and our own Facebook page for an immersive experience like never before. Get in on the action with lively discussions, fiery debates, and a community that's as passionate as you are. Our social media platforms are buzzing with the latest podcast news, exclusive updates, and behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. Don't miss out on the chance to connect with fellow SplashCast enthusiasts. Dive into the conversation, share your thoughts, and be part of something bigger. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, or go to www.splashcast.com to join now.
There we go.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our basketball segment of episode 188 of SplashCast Monday Night Raw. Remember, always like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend. Got a few things we're going to talk about today. What we got on the docket for basketball, Norwood?
All right. First thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to send thoughts and prayers and well wishes to Elijah Arenas. He was in a one-person car accident last week. We found out later that he had been intubated and put in induced coma due to smoke inhalation. The guys at Gil's Arenas, they had a little kind of update today, said that he was getting closer to like being up and walking around, but he was also cognizant of what's going on, which was really good news. Because when you hear coma, you immediately go to worst case scenario, and then to kind of find out that sounds like things should be okay.
Yeah. I think now that we've gotten some good news, we can kind of give the details. We didn't want to really talk about it, but he wasn't doing anything wrong. He was out going to a workout to get ready to go to play at USC, and he was on his way home, lost control of the Tesla truck, and he hit a tree, I believe, or a fire hydrant in the tree, and it caught fire. And when it caught fire, it shut down. And he actually had smoke inhalation because he was trying to get out, but he couldn't. Right. And luckily, a passerby saw and was able to crack the window and pull the window open and pull him out. And I'm glad that they gave those details. And when we first saw it, I just saw coma, and I was like, oh my Lord.
Right. Yep.
I was
You
like,
one of them
oh my
situations,
Lord.
bro. I just when y'all update me, I'll be updated. I don't need to know. This is not my business, not my place. None of that. But I am happy to hear that he's doing well. I'm sure that Gil is a guy who we support and watch and all of those things. He's a great personality. So I can only imagine what him and his family going through right now. So just sending well wishes and hope that everything works out well in order as it should. Next, real quick hitter, which is it's very interesting, and I'm excited we get to go here. Unrivaled reportedly made over $27 million in revenue during its inaugural season. Congratulations to the ladies for making money. Congratulations to the ladies for putting together a great product. WNBA, you are on the clock. I don't know what you have to do, but you guys are staring down a lockout, which we don't want for a myriad of reasons. But with that being said, one thing that I can tell you for sure is that these ladies have put something together here. And I think that it's in your best interest to sit down with the ladies who did this and figure out how you can adopt a lot of these things. Or, I mean, it might be a small league, but this is a thing. And they're paying.
Yeah. Well, with Unrivaled versus WNBA, you have smaller overhead. So having smaller overhead because you have smaller teams, you have less known coaches, all of those things, and you also had or have a group of women that understand the end goal. The end goal is to make money. That's why we started this league. It wasn't because of we want to start the league because of competitiveness or this,
We need
that,
to be
and the third.
paid.
It was we need to be paid, and it's giving them an option, and they presented an option to a market that was starving. The American women's basketball market was starving for a way to get paid without having to go to Europe, and this gave that to them. So you're right. The WNBA is definitely on the clock. I think you need to take notes from the NBA on what not to do. The NBA refused to do this. They refused to embrace the Big Three model from Ice Cube. And the Big Three has expanded to 3 more cities. More and more of the younger veterans are getting involved as a way to stay in shape, make money, and keep in contact. And I think if you're the
And just to
WNBA,
stay relevant. They understand, bro. I ain't gotta go sit at the house, especially as an athlete, and so many times you don't really have an answer. What am I gonna do now? I don't know. I can go play basketball for a couple weekends for sure.
if I'm the WNBA, you need to go look at how you can incorporate this into your business model.
Correct.
Even if it just means whatever, it gives us a 10% boost. A 10% boost is better than a 10% loss.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
it is.
Correct. Now we move into playoffs. And we just gonna rock out right here for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. We just gonna run the quick gamut here. I'm gonna change the order a little bit because of what's going on right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers are whooping the Miami Heat ass. This series is over. It is over forever. Miami Heat. I get that. We don't even need to talk about this game. This is a good old fashioned ass whooping. Cleveland
Well,
and
yeah.
OKC. Well, Cleveland has done what they've
Bro, they are up
set up.
by 57 points.
Right. And it's like, do you take the starters out because it's over? Because you don't want to risk an injury at this point. But do you just let somebody break the record for biggest win ever? I mean, and this is the thing. OKC put it on Memphis the same way. They started their series out like this. Cleveland, hell, closing the series is scarier to me. But with that said, the Miami Heat, I think they're in a tailspin right now.
Man, we knew that they didn't belong in the playoffs. Let's be honest. They got hot and they ended up beating teams
they
that were
did
hurt.
belong in
They didn't belong.
they did belong in the playoffs. They belonged in the playoffs more than the Atlanta Hawks. I feel very confident in saying that.
I don't believe that. This
We
confirms to
lost
me.
to them.
Yeah. I mean, cool. They got hot, but we were a better team. We were the better team. But Miami, they're better coached. They were better coached. Shout out to
Right.
Quinn Snyder. But this is,
Now
and they beating these dudes, and it's only 5 people in double figures. This is just death by 1,000 cuts. They up by
yep.
53 points, 54 now. I'm sorry.
I will say, as much as I think that the Heat were better at the end of the season than we were, the Atlanta Hawks mostly have like a future. The Heat, I think that they are in. I don't know if they have any like true what I would consider like good assets. I think that Tyler Hero is okay, but
That
he's
they can
one.
that's tradable. No, like nah. Go ahead.
Tyler Hero, he's a good scorer, but he's one dimensional. He's not a facilitator. He doesn't play defense. He doesn't really do anything else. Duncan Robinson is even more of just a 3-point shooter. I do like Kyle Ware. I think that was one of the better things that they did was help Bam out and get him off the 5 and get a guy who's big enough to play the 5 so that Bam can play his true position, which is power forward. But I'll be honest, Bam looks long in the tooth, and his contract is about to skyrocket. Paying $60 million a year for Bam Adebayo. Oh boy, that is going to be nauseating for a team.
Well, they got Jovic. Jovic is 24-5 right now. He got 24-5. He got half of their points.
Yeah, but he also he's not even really a regular rotation player. He's behind Jaime Jaquez, who was really good last year and just seems has been.
They just Wiggins, not Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga. Them they just sat him on the bench.
That is now that might be somebody you might be interested in going after. Is it motivated Kuminga? But I mean, you already got Andrew Wiggins. I mean, what are we doing with a bunch of those guys who just kind of the same?
Highsmith, all them 6'8".
Yep, exactly. Cleveland, watch out. And we can go right into the next one, which is the Pacers versus the Bucks. I think for all intents and purposes, this series is over. One more
talk
thing
about Mobley being the defense player of the year?
That's what I had to go back to.
Sham. Yeah. Robbery.
I don't like it one bit. I don't know where it disappeared to. Hold on one second. We're gonna do right by the guy, man. He didn't do the voting. He didn't do any of that. So we're gonna celebrate. Hey, if you win the award, whether I like it or not, you won the award. Congratulations to Evan Mobley. Do I think that he is the best defensive player of this year? No. Congratulations on the award. I hate to rain on your parade, and I don't. I think he had a good defensive season. I think that he plays with good defensive players. And I think that he helped them be a pretty solid defense. But, and this is the solace that I have, is that the one thing that you can't deny about Dyson Daniels' season is it's historic. Nobody's done what he's done since before he was born. When they put you in the same category as people like Michael Jordan, Mookie Blaylock, like what all of those things, you're an elite. You had an elite legendary season, which to me is even more of a reason that he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. But it's the Atlanta Hawks. People don't watch our games. We know that.
It's a big man award. They was trying to talk. They were trying to. Draymond was trying to talk his way into a Defensive Player of the Year,
and almost did.
And then, but they knew Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley started out in the Cavs. You're right. I don't want to rain on the parade. He is an incredible player. His growth has been wonderful to watch because he had all the talent in the world, which is what got him drafted at 4 or 2 or whatever he was drafted at. But the fact that he's been able to grow in Kenny Atkinson.
That draft is crazy too. That draft might be that Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant draft of this era. It is.
Kenny Atkinson being able to draw out all of this talent from this team and put it together is Evan Mobley is the mascot of that. He's the epitome. So I'm not going to crap on it, but Dyson Daniels, bro, Dyson Daniels averaged 3 steals a game. He was 150 steals better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's going to win the MVP. Like,
and the deflections. He might have 200 more deflections than the next person. But this is what happens when you're the Atlanta Hawks. And I will say to the same degree, very much so, the Cleveland Cavaliers, unless you're the number 1 team in the world or the number 2 team in the world. That's the reason
reward winning.
Right.
They reward winning.
But
so.
there are not enough people watching the Atlanta Hawks, because if you watch the Atlanta Hawks and see how bad the rest of the people who play defense on this team, you can see very clearly Dyson is a world changer for us. And probably the frustrating part is I do think that he probably wins most improved player. But the reason he wins most improved player because his defense has been so good, which I ain't gonna go back and forth. Congratulations to Evan Mobley. We all know who should have won this award. And that's all I got to say on that. Back. We're going to talk about Pacers versus the Bucks. Unfortunately, we found out that Dame has torn his left Achilles. He will be out.
Sad.
Man,
we knew as soon as we saw it.
Right. He just came back from the blood clots and deep vein thrombosis to literally play 2 or 3 games, and then to tear the Achilles and be out for, I mean, he's older, so we don't know what that looks like on not the youngest
until at
guy.
least next April. He's out at least until next April.
Which
that's a year-long injury. If he comes back early, he's not going to be. Now, the one thing about it is his game can evolve to the point where he doesn't need to be explosive and get to the rim, which is where it was going anyway. But that's tough, and they're going to have to figure out about this Achilles the way they figured out the ACL, because this is the same Achilles he had the calf strain in last year that he missed a bunch of games with because they couldn't get it to the point because of what happened with Kevin Durant. Once you see the calf strain, it's like, well, it's the same thing. So I think they're going to have to figure out, this is, again, I keep saying that this is our generation's ACL. The ACL back in the 80s and 90s destroyed careers. The same way with the Achilles. You got to figure out, medicine-wise, once technology and operations and healing get to the point where you can heal the Achilles to it, you'll be okay. But it's sad for Dame. They were deflated, and they tried to play. They tried, but it was, you knew it was over.
The other part for me is this has long-lasting effects on this organization, because
Giannis out of there.
I don't see a way where Giannis is trying to come back to, if there is no Dame, then there's no game.
Yeah, because Kyle Kuzma, let me tell y'all, he looked
like
Kyle Kuzma. He looked like Kyle Kuzma. He looked horrible in them 2 games. He had a stretch last game where it was block dunk, missed air ball 3, missed layup, stolen at half court. He had like 5 straight possessions, and Giannis didn't even run up the court the last possession. He just walked to the bench because he knew it was timeout. But they ain't had nobody else.
Let me tell you one thing. You want to know who's happy? I don't know. I don't know though. I got to go back and look at. I want to say that the Wizards are happy, but I don't know if they're happy with that Chris Middleton contract either. I don't know how bad that is, but
you got to lose. This was a lose situation.
So but my thing is, I mean, I guess you could probably move Kuzma again.
I don't know, man. Kuzma was on the Lakers. They moved him after they won the championship.
Well, no.
Actually, he left. He went to the Wizards.
I honestly think that this probably is worse for the Bucks, because Middleton next year will be expiring. It's a big ticket at $33 million. But worst case scenario, you just buy him out and be done with him, or you could trade him to it. I mean, I guess the Wizards probably just rock out with him, but I mean, or buy him out. But they're gonna be done with him next year, and they ain't gonna be good next year anyway. So it's not that big of a problem. The Bucks, you're gonna have to try to move Kyle Kuzma, and I don't know. I think you might have to wait, because Kyle might be one of your better players on your team once Giannis is out there. You might be looking. Kyle Kuzma might be looking like Will Smith when everybody left the house. Yeah, because you got Kuzma this year, next year, and the year after. Yeah, you got him. He only $20 million, so you save some money next year. He's $10 million cheaper, but for what you got this year, he had a Tony Snell game, bro. You can't do that. not at that cost. You can't be Tony Snell.
Not that you supposed to be the third option. Tony Snell was never our third option or anybody's third option, to be honest. Tony Snell can go 0-0-0. It sucks, but it's a joke.
Right.
When you go 0-0-0-0-0 as the
then
third option in a playoff game,
choke. Big difference between a choke and a joke.
You look crazy. So, but yeah, if you're gonna trade Giannis, I mean, and the other thing is for the Bucks, you can't get rid of Dame because he's hurt now. Like if you could have traded Dame to another team and be like,
Miami.
He's a shooter, he could have came in and just been a shooter, right? But you now gonna have to wait 18 months for that. I don't know if Giannis gonna wait 18 months. He's 30.
I wouldn't wait 18 minutes. I've given y'all a championship. I've given y'all what I had. I'm getting the hell on away from here. Now, once again, boy, if I'm Utah, I'm throwing the house at that.
At who?
At Milwaukee.
For what?
For Giannis.
What? That big Nigerian ain't going to motherfucking Utah.
He been in Milwaukee. What? You're right, but he could. I mean, you could. Danny Ainge has all those picks from Rudy and Donovan Mitchell. He could put together for a team that's not going to get any free agents. You could get at least a couple decent players, and you could get probably a gang of picks back.
What Sneaky say? Don't send black people to Utah.
I agree with that, but they also got some. I mean, you could get Laurie.
Yeah, he's not black.
No, I'm saying no. I'm saying Milwaukee could probably get Laurie.
They about to be more mid, just mid with a lot of pieces.
But what I'm saying is you could also get probably. I mean, would you give up 4 firsts for Giannis? Especially if you're Utah, you definitely would. So yeah,
if I have a lot of picks. But why, if I'm honest, I'm not going. You gotta realize what day and age we in. I'm not going.
Right, but
I'm not going to Utah.
What? So where you want to go? I mean, that's a plausible question, but you ain't going to New York.
Why not? I can go anywhere I want to. I can go anywhere I want to.
Giannis
can go anywhere he wants to.
If I'm OKC, I'm not. Respectfully, I ain't probably.
If you're OKC, he could say, "I want to come to OKC," and OKC would entertain.
The Rockets.
Any team outside of OKC would accept Giannis. I'll say OKC don't want him.
Yeah, hey, dog,
any other team would take him.
You can get Jabari, you can get Tari, you can get a Safari, you can get whatever you need. We gonna get you there. And they got picks. You're right. The Rockets are they're in a much better situation. And you could really have and you get rid of Fred Van, you'll be done with Fred VanVleet. Let Giannis play the one. Hell,
you get Dylan Brooks out of there. You get Giannis in the star.
Right.
And Giannis say, amen.
I didn't think about that.
Giannis could definitely force his way
to the king of Houston. Boy,
all the Nigerians out there.
For them leather sandals, they'll be everywhere, boy. You're right, Josh. Good play. Good call.
Ain't nobody. Hey, man, you stay right over there, Orlando.
Shatter. Paulo gonna get rid of
Wendell Carter Jr. in the pick.
When I saw Paulo say, "Why are we paying that man?" Oh boy, it's over.
Let me tell you what, that plane ticket is waiting on. As soon as that Boston Orlando game is over with,
that's gonna come from Jordan Brand. Paulo say, "Put that on my tab. Get him out of here." Yeah. On the other hand, looks like we should get Pacers versus Cavs, which should be interesting. The Pacers, while I don't think that they can get it done, they do play fast.
And
And
Miles
that
Turner is playing out of his mind right now on
that
defense.
could potentially cause a problem. I mean, the Cavs play pretty fast too, but keeping up with the Pacers when they get that thing rolling ain't an easy job. It's just not. And I think that out of the East, I ain't gonna say that because you still got the Celtics. I don't think anybody other than the Celtics and the Pacers really make it difficult on the Cavs, though, in my personal opinion.
The Pacers because of their pace, and the Celtics because they're the Celtics. I don't think the
and
Knicks
they
have
shoot
enough.
that rock.
I don't think the Knicks have enough,
No,
and I don't.
Let's
So
go right.
yeah.
Let's go right there, right now. Pistons got cheated. Pistons got cheated. And y'all may be under. Well, you don't. If you watch sports, you already know, but you finna see it. Let me turn down the volume so it don't blow nobody's speakers.
Good up fake. I think there's contact on Tim Hardaway's right side as he gets hurt.
They're going to show it again right here. Tim Hardaway.
You're going to get a call on this play. Right there is just contact as Hardaway leaves the floor. But we know there's been a lot today
that is one of the most unfortunate ways to lose a game. Josh Hart clearly bumped him, Tim Hardaway Jr., on his right side. On top of that, when they interviewed Josh Hart, he said, yes, I definitely bumped it.
And I will let the refs report come out, and we'll see what happens, what they say about the whole play.
Now, if that's Bickerstaff who's coaching that team, right?
Detroit, yeah. He was big mad.
I feel bad for him because that might be one of them situations where I might lose my job. I'm a black coach.
Feel bad. You also play. Go ahead.
Hold on. I'm a black coach who's got a team who had 14 wins last year. I've turned this team around. Full stop. I think the Pistons are healthy, better than the Knicks. Because if they had Ivy, I don't think that this would be a series. So for me to lose like that, I feel bad for the guy. I truly feel bad for him. That's unfortunate.
I don't feel bad. It is what it is. It sucks to lose that way, but you also allow the game to be down there that close. You always say you can't leave the game to the refs. It is what it is.
But I'm saying, look at what you're dealing with. Like, they got Karl Anthony Towns. They got Jalen Brunson, who's Mr. Clutch of the Year. You got Josh Hart, who does everything. You got OG Anunoby. And you got your boy. I can't think of his name. The guy who I think they're going to trade. Mikal
Bridges.
Yeah. So I think that if you look at the teams, the Pistons roster is not better than the Knicks roster. They just play tougher. They don't want no parts of Duran down there. When Duran get in the paint, go for offensive rebound, Cat turn right into Bodega Cat.
Yeah, but Cat on offense is cooking.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He is cooking the Pistons.
He is a monster. And that makes me reevaluate Hawks. We might have should have thrown the hat in on that.
I said that, and you told me no. I said that, you told me no.
I didn't think he was gonna play. And I'm also trying to temper my thoughts because I do believe that it's gonna be good in New York until it's not. And when it gets bad, it's gonna get bad. And then they're gonna be like, oh, get rid of it.
They ain't worry about that. They trying to win now. They'll figure everything else out. That's why I applaud New York. They'll figure everything else out after we figure it out. Right. But we going for it. And I mean, it's gonna get them to at least the second round.
Right. With that being said, we think the Knicks advanced at this point. I just think it's an unfortunate situation what happened because this would be 2-2, and they'll be headed back to Madison Square Garden tied up. Nasty work, but such is life. In the
Knicks Boston, though.
Yep. Next
Old
up,
school.
you got the Celtics who have 3 wins. You have Orlando who has 1 win. I think it's unfortunate they don't have Suggs. They've played about as good as they could with this roster. I give Orlando a lot of credit for not looking like the Miami Heat. even though they only have one win, they made it difficult on the Celtics basically for 3 quarters every game, and then they won one. It's just at the end of the game, the Celtics they kind of go into overdrive, and then it's like they just kind of keep scoring, and Orlando that's always been their problem. Now, the one thing that I will say that they probably regret is at trade deadline not being more aggressive about getting a scoring guard. They should have really went all in at that point to see if they could get a guy who get them buckets.
A shooter. Yeah.
Like a legitimate scorer.
55-point win. Yeah. Orlando, this is the typical 2-7 series. This is pretty much how it's gone. Boston is the better team. Stop. Boston is the better
Gary
team.
Harris. That's
Sneaky,
the
you
issue.
saying you wanted to talk to Gary Harris and whatever. Gary Harris been done. He's done in Denver.
That's the issue. You playing guys, DJ Augustin, whatever his name is. They playing guys who should not be playing.
Yeah, Augustin, that was he retired. But yeah, Augustin played with Kevin Durant.
What's the dude's name, man? You finna make me look
Black.
it up
now. The lights.
No, I like him. I like him. He's just young.
But my point was, what I was saying was, it's the typical 2-7 matchup. The thing is, as unstoppable as Paolo and Franz look, everybody else is stoppable. And what Boston can do is they can score with you.
That is,
and then Derek White can guard everybody. Derek White, and then they got Porzingis back, which they figured out the cheat code: the up down, left right, AB start. And we'll play Porzingis in the playoffs. They don't play him the whole year. They figured that out last year. We don't got to play. We good enough that we ain't got to play him the whole year.
Right.
We'll just play him in the playoffs. He's 7'4". He can shoot threes. He gets elbowed in the head now. Now he's going to be viewed as tough, which is great for him because he was Mr. Glass. And the rise of Peyton Pritchard, pause if necessary.
And remember, Peyton Pritchard almost was out of Boston. He was like, bruh, I'm ready to go.
And Boston was like, here is the money. Please.
The hell you will, son. You shoot that thing.
Sixth man of the year, Peyton Pritchard.
Right.
By the way.
For me, if I'm looking at this Orlando team, mostly everything must go. Wendell Carter, you out of here. KCP, I think he's still under contract. You probably trade him somewhere else to a team that's trying to win. If they look for a cheap role player, Corey Joseph, you out of here. Anthony Black, you can come back. Cole Anthony, you can come back. Jet Howard, you can come back.
Jonathan Isaac. They like Jonathan Isaac.
Jonathan Isaac. My thing with that is
he's tradable.
Ding, 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 ding. You can come back
right now,
but don't get comfortable.
Now. The Hawks will take you today.
Right. Long term, like you're a good backup for somebody who needs it, but either draft capital or, they need an adult guard. That's what they really need. Honestly, it's tight on Cole Anthony. If I could put Jonathan, if I could put Jonathan Isaac and Cole Anthony and get me an adult back, I think both teams could be happy with that. If you get some cash relief and get Cole Anthony, who is a dog backup guard, he ain't no chump. One thing I will say about him, he ain't no chump. And Jonathan Isaac is a guy who legitimately can go out 1 through 5 if need be.
Would you accept that if you're the Hawks? Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony, and 4 first-round picks or 3 first-round picks for Trey?
Hell no. Well, the thing is, you're going to fire Quinn if that's the answer. No. I told you. There's 2 things that I'm interested in. Give me Josh Giddey and Lonzo Ball, or give me Ja Morant. I'm not taking no mid for the kid.
Ja Morant probably could happen, but if they stick with Quinn Snyder, then yeah, he's not going anywhere. But yeah, sucks for the Magic. We kind of knew this was going to happen. It is what it is.
But once again, that now our division is wide open. Hawks, Magic, Heat. and the Bobcat, I mean the Hornets. Whoever makes their move could shoot right to the top of that. But it's about what moves you make in the offseason. Because if you don't, it's a good chance that you will get fired. You don't make the right move, you'll be going somewhere else. We taking care of the East. We're gonna move right through OKC. They trounced Memphis. Right back to Ja. I think that it might be time for him to go. I think that the trade for Ja is good for both teams because then you don't have to supermax them, and you could probably get some. The biggest issues with each team will probably be a little bit better. I don't think that it makes either team necessarily a champion or a title contender.
Who are you are not explaining your thought? Who is the second team you're talking about?
Oh, no. Oh, just OKC. I was saying the Memphis Grizzlies trading for Trey and Ja. I think that kind of washes and restarts both teams. That makes a lot of
So
sense.
you're talking about Trae Young for Ja. I mean,
Yes.
it could happen. It could happen. Ja, I mean, that's a good backcourt, Ja and Dyson. Ja, Dyson, Ricochet, Jalen Johnson, and Okongwu. That and now you can play Ja, who needs the ball, but Jalen can, be a point forward. That allows you got to run some offense though. Ja is a ball stopper just like Trae.
Yeah, he is.
And
I mean,
so you got to figure that part out.
the thing with Trey is just he's so little. Ja ain't that much bigger, but it ain't the same to me. And I think that for Memphis, number one, you get off little pistol shooter, but you also get, I think he infinitely makes Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey lob threats 10 times better. Trey's just a better pick and roller all day. So for that part, yeah, I think that you juice your offense. And one thing that Trey can do is he's going to make, even single-handedly, he's going to make your offense at least middle of the road by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And OKC still looks to be the odds-on favorite to win a championship. It's either right now, it's those two teams in the top, and everybody else is literally climbing a ladder trying to get to them. Next up, a series that has been really good is the Denver Nuggets versus the LA Clippers. The Nuggets have looked a little bit more human than I think people kind of expected. And the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard, for a guy who hasn't played a lot of basketball recently, he looks like he had missed one singular step. Like so many times, if you don't play basketball for a long time, you get rusty. Kawhi looked like he never stopped playing basketball.
He looked like he never stopped playing basketball, and they still tied 2-2. So there's a lot of hoopla about how the Clippers are playing the Nuggets. But remember, this is a 4-5 series, and the Nuggets were falling at the end of the season, and they fired their coach. So I'm not surprised this is 2-0. I mean, Joker is Joker. Jamal Murray is Jamal Murray. I like the competitiveness of this series. It's chippy. I think all of the West, I love playoff basketball because it is chippy. I think the East is missing that besides the Pacers and the Bucks, but now that Dame is hurt, the chippiness is gone. That's basically taking the dog out of pasture now. But on the West, you've got Denver and Norman Powell and Jamal Murray looking like they about to suplex each other. And then you also, Chris Dunn is always ready to go, and Aaron Gordon, he already got beat up once before the playoffs start. He ain't trying to get beat up no more. He trying to beat up everybody else. So I like the chippiness of this series.
The Nuggets roster is so much better than the Clippers. The Clippers is literally James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and friends. They've made Zubac into what I ain't gonna say world beater, but I mean
they made him into a trade regret. That's what they made it.
Oh boy, the Lakers.
Yeah.
Right over there. Now we can't win.
We're gonna get to the Lakers. We're gonna get there, but yeah, they've made him a trade regret.
Yeah,
but
him, Zubac and Norm Powell are playing way above how good they really are.
Well, also, but the Clippers are the reason the Clippers are the Clippers is because they made stupid stuff too. Now they signed Ben Simmons, right? That's a waste of a roster spot. He don't play nothing.
I mean,
And
well, you know my answer. The Lakers signed Bronny.
how much they signed Bronny for?
Just saying that I think that probably Ben Simmons getting paid. Ben Simmons ain't getting paid no money.
He ain't gonna be in the league no more. Go ahead and start up that Twitch, my boy.
No, I'm gonna tell you, he'll be in Atlanta soon. Know that. There ain't no way he getting out of the league without at least coming by Atlanta. Now,
but I mean, I like this
$10
series.
million.
It's cool, but it don't matter. It don't matter. Whoever wins this series is gonna lose.
Oh,
they gonna get cooked by OKC.
No. He is getting paid $1 million.
Yeah, probably veteran minimum. I think they bought him. The Nets bought him out.
Yeah,
but it don't matter. Whoever win this series is gonna get cooked by OKC.
Oh my
They're gonna
goodness.
get flambéed.
Whatever it is, you don't have. We do not have the capacity. You do not.
Now I would love to see the Clippers versus OKC because I love to see Kawhi and James Harden versus everybody.
Yeah. I think that's what we really. And I mean Zubats and Hartenstein.
Zubats gonna get jumped.
Yeah, but I mean, Chet. That means Chet got to guard Kawhi. That's not fun. That
it does not. Why does it mean that?
Because Hartenstein is a starting five, so Hartenstein and Zubats are gonna match. Then Chet is the 4, and Kawhi is the 4.
Okay.
So I mean,
you can put Jalen on him. You fail to think that OKC they have to match up 4-4. OKC is guard forward. That is what they are. You could put Jalen on there, and you can put Chet on.
Who you gonna put Chet on?
Anybody. Chris Dunn. I don't care. Chris Dunn don't shoot. I can sag off him the whole series.
That is.
I can help. I double Kawhi zone. What you gonna do? Figure it out. James Harden.
That is the issue.
And then I can bring all them people off the bench. I got 11 bench players, all wings, no fries, that can come and play defense.
And you don't have to start Hartenstein. I think that as a guy who's
you don't. That's what I'm saying.
And I think that's one of the. I think that's one of the teams where hey, bro, we're gonna play matchups, and they seem to be. They seem to be a team that is a team. And I think that they don't have the ego to be like, well, if this is going to get us close to a championship, then hell, let's do it.
But once you get to the second, this is why I want to see it. When you get to the second round of the playoffs and on, sometimes you can have a better team all you want. But as we saw last year, when Luka and Kyrie get hot, If James Harden and Kawhi start going for 35 and 35, like they did the other night, 29, 10, and 4, and start doing all of those things, sometimes all you can do is call God, no matter what seed you are, no matter how good you are. There's nothing that you could do.
The issue with that is you still got J-Dub who can give you 30. You got Shea who can give you 30.
Yeah, but that's a Shea true. J-Dub's 30 ain't gonna be demoralizing. OKC, if they got 2 people give you 30, they got a whole bunch of other people. If Kawhi and James Harden start volleyballing points back and forth to each other, ain't nothing you can do. And then maybe they add a little. And let me tell you, Bogey is good for this series to stand in the corner and have 2 25-point games.
And he's due for a Bogey explosion. He is due for, just a couple years ago, I was one of the best shooters in the NBA. Don't forget about that. I think that people are a little sleep on how good Jalen Williams is. I think that he gonna give you everything. Yeah, I mean Grizzlies 23 points, 26 points, 24 points in these games. Yeah, he get and this is efficient.
But they match up with him on defense now. Whoever going off, if Shea go off and put Kawhi on him, if Jalen's going off, I'm gonna put Kawhi on him. And then I'm gonna put Chris Dunn on somebody. They have the body defensively.
You wouldn't. You would bring Dort off the bench because you don't. Because if not
the Clippers
Kawhi
to guard other people, the Clippers got to guard them too now.
Right. It should be good. I hope that's what we get. I think the Nuggets are gonna get whooped on, even though I think the Nuggets have a better roster. And I mean, they probably.
That was my point, Michael. Michael Porter Jr. out of there. they don't like him. And they said the coach didn't like him and he felt some type of way. And then Joker came out the next game and said, yo, look, if you're not going to do your job, you're not going to play. And they didn't play him the whole game. They benched him, the assistant coach benched
It's
him
their
the whole
fault.
game.
You paid a $30 million player $50 million. Good luck. Be delivered.
You gotta pay to keep the window open. Gotta pay to keep the window open.
I mean, I think that was a place where you could have found a guy. I mean, once again, I said DeAndre Hunter should have went there instead. He way cheaper and he gonna get the basic same production and probably a little bit better on defense. Michael Porter contract is
a lot. We go over it every week. It's like $50 million.
Oh, 5 years, $179 million. Oh man, you got 3 more years of that, and it's not.
That's you said $30 million. 179 divided by 5.
Yeah, it's 30.
It's 30.
I overshot it. It's 35 million this year, 38 million next year, 48 million. Excuse me, 40 million in 26, 27. Then he's unrestricted.
Oh, I mean, you could also get off that contract too.
Send him to the Blazers. Miami.
Purgatory.
Everybody, you got 2 options, bro. You can go to the Blazers if you like the West Coast, or you can go to the Wizards if you want to go East Coast, but you're going somewhere.
Or the Nets. Those 3. That's where you're going.
I mean,
give me Cam Johnson.
You wouldn't trade Michael Porter Jr. for Tyler Hero. You wouldn't do that.
I said Cam Johnson. Oh, you said Tyler Hero.
Yeah. They'd be better for it too.
But Jamal Murray probably is also because Michael Porter Jr. the way he's probably played himself into being traded. But before that, it was either him or Jamal Murray. They was about to trade Jamal Murray at the trade deadline, or they're trying to.
I think that it's still probably in your best interest to do both if you can. I think I would clear out everything that I could. Oh my God, yes. Jamal Murray, 46 million, 50 million, 53 million, 57 million, and 28, 29. Oh my goodness. I'm sending everything out of there. Hey, Joker, we're just gonna clear the house, and then whatever you want us to come back with, we'll come back with. How about that?
All right. And that means, and then Joker do something like retire.
Right, and go race horses. And then Denver and Milwaukee, let me tell y'all, boy, you better govern yourself accordingly, or y'all gonna see some long, cold days. Boy. Oh my God.
Oh man. You want to talk about Warriors Rockets or Lakers? We can talk about Warriors Rockets because this game is on right now.
Golden. Yes. Let's start here. This one is 2-1. And they just said Udoka is 2-0 when he's down 2-1. The score right now is 16-6. And
favor of the Warriors.
Right. I don't. And Draymond keep chucking that 3 like he gonna prove to Jalen I can do more than talk. I'm gonna shoot 3s. I don't know if it's smart, but he gonna do it.
He gotta prove it, but yeah, I mean,
this is experience versus athleticism.
I saw this coming. The Rockets are young, and the Warriors are reinvigorated with Jimmy Butler, and Draymond. You say he doesn't do anything. He's cerebral as hell, dog, and he is going to think through the game. He's going to get everybody in the perfect position. And then you throw the wild card of Steph shooting from literally anywhere on the court. He made a shot from beyond half court in this series.
You got playoff Jimmy, who's still going to do his best, even though he's hurt. I mean, he's still playoff Jimmy, and you just got to hope that Buddy Hield does not dribble the ball. They showed a stat today where they say that when Buddy Hield catches the ball and dribbles it, he shoots 11% from 3. When he catches and shoots, it was at like 85%. That's the reason Jimmy Butler's like, hey, stop dribbling.
Stop dribbling.
I ain't lie. I'm going to slap him on the back of the neck. He dribbled that ball. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you shooting that high of a clip, bro, you better turn to Klay Thompson.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they got him for, though.
Now, this
Shout out
is
to
the
Clay,
thing, man.
man.
This
I'm
is
gonna say that
very
again because I feel sorry for you.
I do too, but he gonna get out of there. He's out of there. Dallas is. I think he's gonna be like, hey,
Go ahead and send me to Minnesota.
right. But for me, this is gonna be a good game. They Golden State started out hot, but this is gonna go back and forth. It is good that they're playing at their home, but that age, them players is old. That's the truth of it. These players is old, and these other dudes is young, and it's a gang of them. They got every bit of 7, 8 starters. So,
Oh, yeah, you better get them this year.
right,
they're gonna beat y'all ass.
no, you better
year.
get them this game. Yes, you know this is like when you right at the point where you like, you know what, this is gonna be one of the last time my dad beat me in basketball. Let me tell you this: enjoy these last couple of W's.
When dad start cheating a little bit, start talking a lot of trash and all that stuff, try to get in your head. That's how they gonna play
you in the streets anyway.
Yeah,
we are in our backyard, Dad. We are safe.
You get that growth spurt and dunk on him, then all of a sudden he don't want to play you no more.
No, I can't come out there today. I'm a little tired. Oh, that's what it is, huh? Tired of getting whooped. But yeah, I would like to see the Warriors give it one more good shot. And they'll be interested. Now, I think that the better series is Rockets versus Timberwolves, though. Amen on Anthony Edwards would be box office,
boy. Woo! Or Dylan Brooks. I mean, you could add a lot of players.
Dilly, get on out the way. Get out the way.
Yeah, but in that game, in that series, it would be Julius Randle would be the one that would have to. I mean, he's doing what he's doing now. Whoever guards me, I am punishing you.
I tried and y'all see Knicks fans, I'm happy things are working out for y'all. That's kind of the reason I'm a little mad that they won that game, though. Because they talk so bad about Julius. He sucks. He's trash. Let me tell you. They not moving Julius next year.
Julius is motivated.
I think there's a chance that Gobert goes before Rudy. I think the Gobert goes before Julius.
Damn,
even though
come on,
you probably got more value with Julius, though. He's probably. I don't know.
I wouldn't move him. And listen, Ant is still like 23. So you have signed him to the extension, but that extension ends at 27 when he is going to be in the prime of his prime.
That's going to be when Jordan stopped missing jump shots. You remember you just watch him shoot and you're like, you're going to make every shot?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ant's getting there. And now he traveled a little bit in the last game. He was walking all through that lane. But them threes, Ant hitting the three, and then him figuring out, I guess, my bad, I didn't mean to transition from the Warriors and Rockets, but if the Rockets don't win this game, y'all in trouble. But if you see LeBron, there's so much about this about this Lakers Timberwolves series. Ant is ascending. And he is taking this Luka matchup. Yeah, Luka gonna get his 39, 10, and 12, but Ant gonna be right there with him. And I'm here to say, I have now transitioned to a new favorite player. Before, I had Jordan, Dominique, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Giannis, and then after Giannis, I got older, so I didn't really have a favorite player per se. Let me tell you,
Anthony Edwards.
Edwards is it. That's my favorite player in the league right now.
And he beat on the old people, yo. He whooped on Kevin Durant, and that's the difference. Like even in this back and forth, there is a hierarchy here. And as much as we wanted Luka to be the man on this team, it's even in this case, LeBron is still number one. And Anthony Edwards is doing.
That was a good question. That was one of my questions for you.
The reason I say so is because Anthony Edwards is trying to terrorize LeBron.
I think that's personal.
Yes, but
I think both of them are personal.
Yes. But I think that. But honestly, I don't think it's personal. I think he's crazy. Like Anthony Edwards is legitimately crazy, and I think his biggest sign of respect is to go directly at you. Like, hey, I want to kill you. I respect you. I respect the absolute hell out of you. That's the reason Kevin Durant.
Kendrick Lamar me.
Yes.
Hey, I'm trying to kill all of y'all.
Yeah. The idols have become the rivals, but yes. And I respect you. Yes. This is it right here. You want something too, old man?
And what I think he also took everybody took the Lakers, and everybody took the Lakers overwhelmingly, like 4-1. And I think he took that as disrespect. And you heard it after game 1. And I think the same with OKC. And I think this is the year that the Rockets are going through it the same way that the troubles they got terrorized by Luka last year. Both teams terrorized. So they have a lot of maturity. And shout out to Rudy Gobert. He has humbled himself to the point where it was like, hey, whatever. If y'all can't play me this series, I won't play. I'll just go out there and be tall. Floor,
yeah, like no, I'll go to the bench and play Nas Reed to close the game. Do you want to play or do you want to win? And I respect the hell out of Rudy for saying I'd rather win. Now, I do think that people just kind of move with their heart, not with their head. If you look at the Lakers depth chart, you really look at that team. It sucks.
It's ass. Let me tell you who I meant to send you a picture. There's somebody, a big man in Dallas that the Lakers could use right now. They are getting bullied in the paint. Julius Randle, bully. Dante DiVincenzo is just going all to the lane.
Yeah.
Ant Edwards. I mean, Ant Edwards is going to be Ant Edwards, but when he dunked on old boy, who he dunk on?
But
Jackson Hayes.
You know what my answer to all of this is? Especially, first of all, let's address this. JJ Redick is the first coach to play in the play-by-play era to have 5 players play the entire half. My answer, put Bronny in the damn game. We didn't argue about Bronny all season. Put him on the floor. Y'all said that he was. Yes, it is. LeBron said, me and Bronny, we could be half the NBA. Well, you got to play 46 minutes. Put him out there.
Well, this the other half. The half of the NBA is not on the they at home. He was talking about all the teams that ain't making. He ain't talking about
this half.
Not this half.
Excellent count.
I wasn't talking about Ant. They damn near better not put Bronny in there. They want to when Ant in the game. Ant gonna block him up from corner to corner. He ain't gonna be able to do nothing. Because while you playing, shout out. That's what I really wanted to ask you. Shout out to Austin Reeves. But the Timberwolves defense is going back to what we thought it was last year. And Jay McDaniels has decided that I'm not going to get terrorized by Luka. And I'm going to do something. He give you 20, 15, 18. He's giving you points. And Nas Reed is hitting shots. And Ant Edwards has figured out pace. That Chipotle commercial, he done figured out how to get in shape. His threes, when he gets hot, he gets hot. He trained with Steph, went to Sensei, went to Kevin Durant. Everything he doing, he learned from them two. And then he's going straight at Bron. And Bron, he's the first person I've seen that matches up with Bron one-on-one and will not let Bron run over him. You know, Bron got them shoulders where he just move you out the way. Yeah, he lock up with Bron is like, yo, all right, well, I'm DB to the safety and you the tight end.
And Anthony Edwards got a set of shoulders, and what he don't have in shoulders, he got in youth. So yeah,
the exuberance of youth,
young man,
my dad would say.
Young man, you gonna keep your hands off me. And I think that, I mean, LeBron is physical and tough, but what I don't think that LeBron likes is when somebody's physical and tough back with him. Because Rudy Gobert definitely shot him an elbow to the back of his head.
Now, LeBron did do the exaggerated box out. Like he stepped in early and he hit Rudy in his leg and hit Rudy in the thigh. Right. And I was like, that's legal. It's a legal box out, but that was something there. And Rudy was like, bro, you hit me in my thigh. And then he missed the elbow first and went back with the second. Take that with you. Yep. I was like, oh, Rudy tired of being called soft. I see that right now.
That 7-foot elbow to the top of your skull, it'll make you, you don't have to do that to me, sir.
Bro, I said you BAN. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, now young Braun would have went down on the next play and dunked on him. But old Braun pulled up the 3.
Speaking of, if I can get it here, your boy here. This is one of my favorite videos.
Nah, Brian. Nah, Brian.
How you hurt and scamming? And I'm gonna show it one more time from the beginning. Please look at this fake injury.
Look at it. Look at him. Watch
Did
it.
I get the
Pause
foul?
it right.
Watch the shit.
Pause it right there. Right there. Braun peeking.
Yo, what? That's when you're trying to play sleep. Is she up?
You trying not to get a whooping. That's what you're
Right.
trying not to do.
But I mean, number one, this is hilarious. But this, I think, is pushing LeBron limits. And this team is just not good. That's really the more evident thing that you see moment by moment is this team's just not good enough. Now, shout out to the Hawks for not letting. I mean, what is it? The Lakers?
They're not good. I mean, they're not great, but this is just a terrible matchup for them too. This is a terrible matchup for them.
I mean, you're right. It's a terrible matchup, but let's also be very real. The Lakers suck. I don't want to say it no other way. Jackson Hayes is a fringe NBA player.
They're the number 2 seed in the West.
Right. That's because of LeBron and Luka and Anthony Davis. Jackson Hayes, for all intents and purposes, I will go to my grave saying that would have been Clint Capella playing the center if not for them having our draft pick and us just not being willing to let him go to LA. Then if you have Jackson Hayes as your backup center, then life is infinitely more, infinitely easier to navigate. Rui Hashimashi, does he start on half of the NBA? Maybe.
I think he should start on this team. I think he should be the starting 4. But I also think that they need to get a 5. Like they need to get a 5 and
the bench. The bench is terrible.
Bench is just absolutely awful.
Gabe Vincent, let me tell you, and I told y'all, Gabe Vincent was only going to be good in Miami. Don't trick yourself into thinking you good anywhere else. I don't know if it was Jimmy Butler. I don't know if it was Pat Riley.
Yes, you do know if it was Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler left, and they are awful.
But I don't know. I think that certain players like that Pat Riley, militant, military style of I would assume if I'm Gabe Vincent, I try to see if they'll take me back because that's the place I played my best basketball. And maybe it's Spoelstra, but whatever it is, I would try that. Jordan Godwin, Jared Vanderbilt, Dorian Finney-Smith, Alex Lynn. Anytime you're a former Hawk,
one thing the Hawks can do, bro, we can get rid of you right when you ask,
right.
Except for John Collins. But everybody else,
right?
If we get rid of you, you ass. You are booty.
Yeah.
But I would love for I would love for the Timberwolves to close this out. I would love for that to happen because now Dallas and LA is at home, and Dallas, you traded, and LA, both of y'all made the trade to be the exact same space. So
you got signed to be terrible, son. That's what you got signed for. You really got signed because we couldn't afford anything else because Bron and Luka are expensive.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we have gone. Oh, one quick hitter with basketball. I know do you think that Trey is an Atlanta Hawk at next trade deadline? After next trade deadline?
My gut tells me no. They're already, when you start to look at the media is controlled. So when certain narratives start to come out,
control and uninformed.
When certain narratives start to come out early, you kind of got to pay attention. As soon as we lost, they were like, "Yeah, Trey, it's about time for the breakup." The same way we were talking about Giannis, and they're like, "Hey, Giannis gonna be out of there." It's the same thing with Trey. So, and they've already talked about Ja. They've already started matching people up. They've already said Ja. They've already talked about pairing Giannis with Trey, either in Milwaukee or in Atlanta.
The hell?
Which I am not cool with, because you'd have to give up Jalen Johnson and or Ricochet, which I'm not willing to do, because I would rather, and a Kungwu. So I would.
Bro, you're gonna take, once Giannis is gone, I don't have anything but whatever you give me. So I have to have everything.
Yeah.
We'll be out there looking like NBA Jam. It'll be Trey and Giannis, and that's it.
He's on fire.
Y'all gonna play with 2 players. That's all we can afford.
And Dyson Daniels. That'd be the 3. That'd be it.
I probably want Dyson too. Hell,
no, I'm not giving you 4 players and picks. Y'all can kiss my ass. You just be he go somewhere else.
We don't got no picks. Remember, our picks are not controlled. Well, I mean, we have them, but they're just not controlled by us.
We got 2 first-round picks.
Oh, I don't know if it happens that fast. The other thing that really concerns me is, if you're going to keep Trey, which of course I don't want us to do, then you need to pay him this summer.
Yeah, you can't wait, because he for sure go. If you thought he led the league in assists this year, he for sure gonna do it in a contract extension year.
And like, that's my only thing is, I don't want him, but don't be stupid either. We have the propensity to do both. Like, not pay him and then wait for the price to go up and then pay him and be like, bro, why wouldn't you just do that in the first place? I've kind of heard that too, Sneaky, which has depressed me a little bit. I think
they're gonna build around the top. I think they're gonna try to build around the top 4: Trey, Dyson, Ricochet, and Jalen. And I think everybody else is on the block.
I mean, I hope we can at least keep that. I just don't want to give up a bunch of players. And I'm telling you, if Okongwu goes somewhere else, he's gonna look like a world beater.
Yep. Right to the Lakers.
If he
right home to Southern California.
Right. That's all I got for that. We're gonna come now. I am gonna come back with a drink. And we're gonna celebrate. This one's gonna be about a 4-minute here. But we shall return here in just a couple of seconds. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe. Thank you guys for rocking with us. And we'll be right back.
Hey, SplashCast listeners, are you ready to dive into some exciting opportunities with us? The SplashCast is now open for brand partnerships, advertisements, and sponsorships. We want your business to make a splash with our audience. Picture your brand reaching all of our loyal and passionate listeners who love our weekly content. From HBCU news around the culture to our splashes of the week, we cover it all. If you're looking for a dynamic platform to showcase your products or services, look no further. Reach out to us at diveteammedia@gmail.com. That's diveteammedia@gmail.com. Or visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com for more details. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. My bad. To make sure I was unmuted. We are back with our final segment of episode 188 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw, our football segment. Y'all know this is my season, draft season. Y'all see the paraphernalia. You hear the jovialness in my voice, the joyful noise, joyful, Lord, we adore.
Y'all see Outkast over there. Also, shout out to Outkast being soon to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That means the world to me. Also, Big Hank in the background. It's a good time.
Atlanta.
Man.
It was the NFL draft, which is basically the midpoint of the offseason. A lot going on. We have a lot to talk about. Falcons draft class, should the Shedeur fall, stupid ass teams, etc. But before we get there, some XFL news. Puka Nacua has a brother who obviously don't take no shit. And do we have the clip, or we just talk about it?
No, we here. Here it is right here.
Ooh, cool sounded too. So Puka, for those that are doing the audio experience, Puka Nakua's brother was playing against the St. Louis Battlehawks, and they were talking trash to each other. A fan was leaning over and talking trash to Nakua, and whatever he said, I guess he was talking trash to him the whole game. And at the end of the game, Puka went over to him and said, "You ain't something to the effect of you blankety blankety blank." And the guy said, "Do it, do it, do it." I said, do it, do it, do it.
Sometimes he put that hand into it. Then we gotta do it.
You're right. Rockets took the lead, but yeah, he smacked the fire out of that fan. I don't know what he said, but y'all got to know y'all station in life, fans. This ain't the NFL. Ain't no security. This the XFL. Well, no security there.
And the security there is XFL level security. NFL security get paid NFL money. XFL security get paid XFL security. Let me tell you, they not securing nothing on you.
Nope. And he
y'all gotta
fire out of that dude.
And y'all gotta stop talking to these players any type of way, man. Just like I can't remember what team it was. The dude, one of the fans was talking crazy about one of the players who attempted to commit suicide. He was
for baseball.
Baseball.
That was the.
He was going to put his hands on him about that, and
he was walking into the stand.
And I was like, "Hey, let him get to him then." Everything ain't funny, and all of y'all are not comedians. Sometimes you need to be reminded what it feels like to be punched in the face.
Yep. Yeah, everybody ain't Bron. Bron will just have you escorted out.
Right.
Everybody else, some of them dudes just be like, "I'll knock you out."
Don't let Bron fool you. You say the wrong thing,
Bron. Yeah, he'll walk up to you, Stephen A.
Or, hey.
Right there.
And I'm gonna tell you, Russell Westbrook for sure will.
Russell already. Marcus Smart. That's another one. He was in college ready to fight that white man. Said he called me the N-word, and I'll do it again. I said, "Yes, sir. Draft him today."
Yep. See, that's the type of standing on business I like right there.
Yes, sir. But let's get into this draft. So we're going to talk about the Falcons first. Then we're going to talk about everybody else.
Y'all see that?
The Atlanta Falcons, for the first time since John Abraham.
Round of applause.
There's a lot of firsts. First time since John Abraham that we went and got quality pass rushers in the draft. One, you could say Vic Beasley, but everybody knew he was kind of undersized. And then two, the first Georgia Bulldog that has been drafted in the first round since 1966 for the Atlanta Falcons.
That's
Jalen Walker.
That's
yeah, shout out. We'll get to the Eagles. Just signed everybody from the national championship game. That's all they did. They signed everybody from 2021.
And me and Reggie came on here, and I told you, I said, that's him. I said, draft him, not anybody else. Don't look left. Don't look right. Him. And you didn't do it. Now, you might have gotten a guy who might end up being an elite, possibly Hall of Fame running back. So I'm going to say I might be okay with that.
Oh, Jalen Carter, and yeah.
But being that UGA has played so well lately in literally your backyard, and you've never unacceptable. Change your ways now.
But Terry, first round, got Jalen Walker at pick 15. He fell to us. No trade up, no change. Then we traded up to draft James Pierce at 26. And if you listen to Terry, he told you what he was going to do. Last year, he tried to trade up to get Latu. This year, they did the report cards on the GMs and said who's going to do what and who's going to trade back, stay put, or trade up. Terry said, yeah, I got voted the most likely to trade up at 75%. He told you that's what he was going to do. We only had 5 picks, so we said it had to be some wheeling and dealing.
I'm in here burning incense. I'm trying to cleanse everything. I need to just put anoint a new spirit on us, Lord. Leave all that loose.
Oh, boy, the unplug. See there? Boy, the unplugged. But You muted. Check your audio settings.
That's the devil working against me. I'm gonna get my audio
Yeah.
together, but see, that's what happens. You try to make changes in your life, and right at your door, like you need to hurry up. But I'm purging, I'm cleansing. We starting anew, and we're gonna go through.
But they drafted Xavier Watts in the 3rd round, which I think was an incredible value. Billy Bowman, I had him a lot in my mock drafts. I always drafted him in the 5th round, a 4th or 5th round. I always drafted him because he runs like a 4.33 40. So at the end of the day, and he's played every position. So I kept saying we were going to get him and Jalen Walker. And then, of course, Jack Nelson, who presents incredible value playing guard and center, and offensive tackle as well. He's played all 5 positions. Terry Fontenot put on a masterclass in order to make a difference in this draft. To get 2 bookend defensive ends, and I ain't even going to call Jalen Walker a defensive end. I think they're going to use him as an off-the-ball linebacker. But to get him plus James Pierce, and I told y'all from the get-go, I said they're going to get Jalen Walker and pair him with Caden Ellis, and they're going to tell them to go run around. They ain't really going to have no plays for them. They're just going to run them around. And James Pierce, who reminds me of Vic Beasley, but he's not going to be charged with being Vic Beasley. Vic Beasley is supposed to be the best pass rusher on our team from day one. He's going to be a situational pass rusher, and he's going to be able to stop all of that zone read run crap too, because he runs a 4.4 40. He's literally faster than everybody on the Eagles except for Saquon Barkley. So you have those plus Xavier Watts, who's going to pair with Jesse Bates, but also Jesse Bates is not under contract after next year or after the year after next. You'll have Xavier Watts, who's a ball hawk. We drafted really, really well. I wanted to ask you. I have my thoughts, but I'm going to bring you in here. We traded our 1st round draft pick next year to go up and get James Pierce. How you feel about that?
This is the timeline. The Falcons are all in. They understand they must win the NFC South this season. If they don't win the NFC South, Terry and Raheem are fired. So it's no point in me saving a draft pick for somebody else. If I get fired, that's their problem. So you roll the dice and you double up on 1st round draft picks on what you believe to be your contract year. I take the guy who is, I think, more of the constant in Jalen Walker, and I take the wild card in Pierce. The thing is, I hope they do, and I pray that they hope they do, put all your best players on the field at the same time. Don't be afraid to put Leonard Floyd out there while you have those 2 guys out there. I want the most aggressive, fastest pass rushers when we have to get to the quarterback. We have to get to a point where people say, you know what? I can't back up and let my receivers run for 15 seconds till they get open every time. And also, what's old boy from Washington who killed us with just the little short runs? I can't think of the quarterback now. Jaden Daniels. He can't do that. We gotta keep containment, and we have to get after the quarterback. The defense, to me, they've overloaded at every position where we've needed help. They want to compete.
I disagree there. So I do think that our defense before the draft was really good. Was really predicated to stopping the run. We had a bunch of big bodies to play defensive end and defensive tackle, and we needed the rush ends to pair with Ebiketie and Leonard Floyd and Braylon Trice and all of those. And this is the part that disappointed me. I like the Billy Bowman pick, right? I like the Billy Bowman pick. I like the trading up for Xavier Watts. I like the trading up for James Pierce. I thought we were going to address the number 2 cornerback.
You kind of did. You didn't, but you did. You addressed the nickel cornerback because Billy Bowman is going to be.
They drafted him to be the nickel, but you also signed D. Alford. You got Mike Hughes. You got Phillips, who you said just 3 weeks ago that you go roll him out, Clark Phillips, as the cornerback, and then you re-sign D. Alford, and then you draft Billy Bowman, all to compete. There's only so many DB spots, and we still don't have really a number 2 corner. Or I don't believe Mike Hughes is a number 2 corner.
I think that's what they're like. Okay, well, we got that, and then I mean, when we talk about the undrafted free agents too, I think that they're going to pick. They got enough guys at kind of every spot that whoever let the best man win, and whoever's best at every position, that's the guy who's going to play. And a lot of you guys kind of play. Y'all are kind of pointers, so you can play multiple positions. I just want my best 5 defensive backs out there. However that shakes out, we know that AJ Terrell is a lock. We know that Jesse Bates is a lock. I think that it's pretty confident that Xavier Watts is going to be our new over-the-top guy. You're going to let Jesse Bates play a little bit closer. And then, yeah, you got to figure out those 2 positions. And then defense on the line, Root, Dorless, Harrison, Trice, Ebiketie, Pierce, Jalen Walker,
Onyemata.
Yeah, like we got enough guys. You're going to have to compete if you want to play. And the other thing is, we're going to have a deep rotation of guys who I think are all capable. Now, some of you guys who is edge rushers, Brooks and Jabari acting tough now. Everybody want to push, but Amen might be hurt. But I don't see a quick fix. So if you're not going to have a quick fix, then the answer is let's do this by platoon. And I think that they've done that, especially when you start talking about the steal that we got in undrafted free agent. I mean, as an undrafted.
Yeah. Now, if there's, I'm impressed with the draft. I'm not mad because if you decide, if it doesn't work out, at least you tried. In the past, we just never tried. But
exactly, Sneaky. Best method, in my opinion, mass talent in the draft and address. And the other part is if you have all these young players who, I mean, even the guys from last year, they didn't really get a whole lot of reps. As this team gets older, you hope that all of these guys kind of get good enough to be in the rotation. And then the older guys, you have to, they're going to probably have to be somewhere else because the offense ain't going to be cheap.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to figure out that second cornerback. I don't think Mike Hughes is it, but I do like they've kind of taken the Eagles and the Eagles and kind of like the Texans Chiefs philosophy. The Eagles just built up their front 7. The Eagles got everybody. They drafted everybody from Georgia and Alabama and said, all y'all figure it out from there. Added a couple veterans. And then the Chiefs / Texans have all the good DBs.
Right.
All of them. Nickelback. I think they got top 2 nickelbacks. They got top safeties. Like they got all and I think the Falcons are trying to build that. We're going to play. We can go and I wouldn't be surprised if our base is nickel and our second defense is dime. You're not going to be able to just throw the ball and walk down the field on us West Coast offense style no more. We putting a stop to that.
And we have mostly guys in our secondary who don't mind getting a little physical. That's the reason I don't mind the Watts now. I think Billy Bowman has some tackling issues, but outside of that,
he does not. No, he does not. He is a tackling safety. He's just small, but that motherfucker. All his highlights was him hitting people.
But I like this. I really, really, I can't wait no longer. The Kobe Bryant undrafted pickup. That's another guy who you can throw in there. Like, yeah.
Him and Nick. Yeah. Oh, we're talking about defense, but yeah, Steele. Nick Nash led everybody and everything in receiving last year. Undrafted free agent. Steele. That is probably the most impressive part of the draft for me. Is everybody that we were linked to. We were linked to Kobe Bryant. We brought him in twice. We brought in Nick Nash. Everybody we were linked to, we did. There was really no overthinking. And that's what I keep talking about the Eagles. The Eagles don't overthink nothing. I'm taking the biggest, fastest, strongest person right now. And that's what the Falcons did. We didn't overthink.
And I think that Nick Nash is a good alternative in the slot. to Ray Ray. Ray Ray is, if we're further away, then yeah, let Ray Ray take the top off the offense. Run down there and see if you can get the safety to commit and see what we can do with that. But in the red zone, when spacing is different, Nick Nash, former quarterback, he runs good routes. He don't mind going up for a contested catch. And yeah, you put him, Drake London, Kyle Pitts out there. You got something in the end zone every time. Penix. Oh, and Bijan. Let's not forget about that. But yeah, he's immensely valuable. And I think we got 2 or 3 more guys that are about the same size. Everything that we did
he's
not
like
get.
Drake. To me, he's Drake London. He ran a 4.5. He's 6'3". He runs good routes. He has good hands.
Everything that Terry could not get offensively during the draft, he intentionally went and got in free agency. It's very clear.
Oh yeah, did he get a couple offensive linemen too?
Yep,
because we couldn't add it.
I'm telling you, to have
only 5 picks, he was wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, he got the big dude from Vanderbilt. Like, I watched tape on everybody. I can understand how everybody who's an undrafted free agent makes sense.
And we can still get off Kirk Cousins. We got to figure it out. And we'll talk about the stupids later. But you still can get off Kirk Cousins, and then you can go sign literally any cornerback.
But I also think that there is a very real reality that we can end up with Jalen Ramsey. And I think if we get Jalen Ramsey, then Best is off.
Oh, yeah, he's older, but him at a number 2, at the number 2,
at a number 2 with elite safety, I think probably all pro safety, and another young guy who's had the most interceptions out of anybody in college the last 2 years. Oh yeah, and then AJ Terrell, yeah, Ramsey. If Jalen Ramsey is your cornerback 2, you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you have what we believe we have as far as a pass rush.
Yeah, sneaky. I do like Kobe Bryant, getting him. I was surprised he was undrafted. I tried to find rumors of character concerns or injury or not. It's just they said 26 other cornernbacks were better than him, which he said y'all are out of your mind. He had 11 interceptions or something like that. But he's 6'1" now, but he's only like 188.
Yeah. I think that might, that's probably a draft stretch at 188.
So I mean, he's gonna have to gain weight. But I mean, if he can turn out to be if you watch football, and I'm assuming you really watch football, he plays cornerback like Kamari Lassiter did.
Yeah,
that's how he played. And we've seen he's the best, one of the best young corners in the league.
And not afraid to tell you how he feels about anything.
Nope. So I overall, I'm very impressed with the Falcons draft class. And for all you stupids that say we gave up too much to get James Pierce, as Norwood said, bro, I might not have a job next year. You lucky I ain't trade the whole draft.
Yeah, that has to be. And everybody's like, oh, well, if you trade this guy, well, if we believe we're going to be as good, and let's be real here, the defense has to step up because the Panthers have stepped up their wide receiver group overnight. The Bucks have a scary wide receiver group. I think they're like 4 or 5 deep at wide receiver. I mean, the Saints a little bit less. They got money issues. But the Bucks are the champs until proven otherwise. And the Panthers are trying to keep Bryce.
Oh, yeah, they got Emeka Egbuka.
Right.
Ooh, and Tez Johnson. The Bucks got Emeka Egbuka, and then they drafted 2 cornerbacks and 2 edge rushers.
And they already had Godwin, they had McMillan, and they got Mike Evans. Man, they're not playing. And if you don't have a secondary and a pass rush, I mean, I know that I joke about Baker Mayfield not being able to lead from the front, but we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have
crazy.
We're gonna have to, yes, Xavier Leggett, and who else did they get? Oh, Ted. And then they got Thielen, and they got 1 or 2 more. Like, They
with
also
Trevor Etienne and Chuba Hubbard at running back.
right. They understand that this is an arms race, and they don't want to be the one-legged man in the ass kicking contest. Everybody's looking like, well, I ain't trying to be the Saints right now. Let me tell you. And I mean, depending on how healthy your team is able to stay, it's really going to be very influential on whether or not you have success. And right now, you could get into the playoffs. I think it's between us and the Bucks, but I'm gonna be very honest and say I'm not sure that until we beat them, they're better than us. It's the only way I can say it.
I think the Panthers are a dark horse team in the division.
I don't.
Nick Scorton, they got Nick Scorton and Prince from Ole Miss / Florida, which is why I understood why people were upset about trading up for James Pierce. But James Pierce's tape is so much better than everybody else's outside of Michael Walker, Jalen Walker, the top guys that went.
Right.
His tape when he's on, bro, you can't block him. You can't block him or you can't run away from him.
And the other part is it shows commitment to pass rush, which is something that we've just infinitely never addressed in the right way. This is what is really good about having a black coach and a black GM. It's never a point where we can be lackadaisical. There's no chilling. They know that, hey, it's either win or go home. So what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. Hey, this is what I got, dog. And like this draft, what we started out with and what we ended up with, win, lose, or draw. Now, I do think that you probably still get fired if we don't win the NFC South. But I respect a man who did everything within his power, and I think that he did.
Yep. So the Falcons, I was singing earlier, emotional roller coaster.
I would say Isaiah Bond rolled the dice.
I think he was already signed. And I'm pretty sure he was signed, if I'm not mistaken, to somebody you don't want to hear.
Nope. Nowhere.
He wasn't signed yet?
Nah, we need to make that happen.
Yeah, because you were on a 4.29, bro.
Right. Bro, we had I ain't trying to bring nobody.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
But
I ain't finna step on nobody. Whatever you've been through in your life, you'd have made it to the other side. Give this man a chance, is what I'm trying to tell you.
But as I said, the Falcons are an emotional roller coaster. I was seeing emotional roller coaster earlier. And the reason I say that is we had a good draft. We feeling good about ourselves. Jalen Ramsey, we're the dark horse to land him. I think it's between us and the LA Rams. And then it comes out that Shedeur Sanders, who was prank called and trolled, and we'll get into you bigoted motherfuckers. We'll get into it. But he was trolled and prank called on a phone that only coaches had that he got strictly for the draft. If you ever look at the draft and all the players, they're always holding two phones. And I used to always say, damn, why every player got two phones? Well, it's because they got a number that nobody else has because they don't want anybody else to call them and prank call them and have them an embarrassing moment and etc. Or people calling and messing with them. And Shedeur Sanders had one of those, and somehow he still got prank called. And I put in the group, I told y'all, I said, this don't make no sense. Somebody had to get the prank. Somebody got those calls, and that's somebody in the office. That's somebody that only has that number, which means it's a GM coach.
This is the other part. They did this stupid part and videoed it. See, that's what I don't like about y'all. Number one. One thing I will say about my era, and maybe I'm gonna be here. We believed in doing foolishness. I'm not even against saying that we might have done this, but what we would not have done is taped it and told on ourselves. And y'all did.
For those that are audio. So what we're talking about is it turns out that The Falcons defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, who is our new defensive coordinator, his son,
Jax Ulbrich.
Came.
He's 21 years old too.
Yeah,
So
stop calling him a kid. Stop calling him a kid. He's 21.
I mean,
he came across.
We came across
Ulbrich's. He came across Ulbrich's iPad, team iPad, which had Shedeur's number on there, which either tells me that we have been talking to Shedeur, which I don't think so. I think it was just a database.
Yeah.
Of all the draft prospects, and took Shedeur's number out there and then prank called him, taped it, and put it online, and saying, "Is this Shedeur Sanders? You're gonna have to wait a little bit longer." If I'm Jeff Ulbrich, when I found out that it's your dumbass that did that, I'm gonna let y'all know what Ken Davis the first would have done. He would have beat me on tape and then sent it to my boss and said, "I've handled the situation. Please don't fire me."
Yeah, even at 21, you probably still get your ass whooped because you playing with your daddy job. You know, I pay all the bills.
A good job.
The best.
A 1% job.
I just got this job back. This just brought me back, and then here you come. And now, I mean, it's like anything. It's the last thing that, as an adult, you can attest to. I got to a point in life, I don't want to have to deal with these type of things at my job. My job is enough jobby already. Now I have to explain to my boss how I was irresponsible, because there is nothing other than I was irresponsible and I left this thing around unlocked. So you got me looking stupid. Yeah. And then, if I remember correctly, he's on somebody's football team somewhere too. You make that coach look stupid, and I mean, they very well might be like, we're gonna go in a different direction.
Espionage. You look like you could be giving trading secrets.
You could easily be back at home by the end of the semester. Yeah, we ain't gonna.
And let me tell you, if you have me lose my 1% job, a job that only 0.1% of the American population has, right? I don't even know what the 0.1%. What's 32 divided by
after this team that I already worked at? I've come back, and then they have used all the draft capital to help me out.
Fuck the draft capital, bitch. I moved my whole family back to Atlanta. I spent money. I relocated and changed my whole life. And you, before I can even get to day one, I'm still in orientation. I'm still building out my stuff. It's going to get me fired. Boy, I will kick you down the steps, bring you back up, and kick you down the steps again. You are the dumbest motherfucker on earth. And out of all the people that you decided to do the Shedeur. Right. Shedeur, and all of the controversy that we got going on, you decided to do it to him. You bigoted, sorry sack of shit.
Now I will say that Isaiah Bond also got one from, I think they say he was an Alabama fan. He got a phone call like that, and
copy paste.
They also said Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end who ended up signing with the Colts, got it. Number one,
that's different because we knew he was going 14. He ain't never was not mock draft 14 in no database. He was always going to the Colts.
Right. I mean, right. But I will say, as a person who sat in the room with the person waiting to get drafted, I know you were trying to be funny. That ain't funny. That is you literally playing with somebody's life commitment to hopes and dreams. Like, that ain't the way to be funny. I get it. I was once 21 and childish, but
I also had to fight a lot. That rectified at 21 too.
that right. That ain't, and that is more mature. And I know this sounds crazy for me to say mature Norwood. That's not a moment to play with, man. That's like telling somebody not finna graduate moments before graduation. There's certain things that you just be like,
I would have Puka Nakua slapped you.
Oh man,
if I saw you.
Oh, I'm taking you down through there. I'm not going to read this long dissertation. The Falcons have basically said that they don't condone the behavior.
And we're not going to do anything to Jeff Ulbrich.
Yes.
Now that I don't know if I agree with. Again, because we went over all of the things. You left that day and I'm gonna tell you one thing, and this is another thing. We had no intentions of ever drafting Shedeur. So Shedeur's number was never up on the home screen.
Right.
It was never the first in the scroll. It was never in the database, which means your dumb ass had to go looking for it, which means you knew where to go look, which means you've been on the iPad before.
Right.
You see what I mean?
I don't know about that. Let's be real. I can get through my mama's or my dad's iPad relatively quickly. It ain't one. They ain't like us where they got folders. It's everything on that one list. I do know that.
I disagree. I don't think he set up his iPad. I think his iPad was set up for him and they gave it to him.
I know, but they put the UNC settings on too. I would assume.
Well, I'm gonna let you know now.
Make that text big. Make that text big for me now.
I'm talking about I'm sorry, Shedeur. I'm gonna send out a message. No, and I'm glad you took my call. Dion, you see, Dion ain't say nothing. Dion was like, boy, I need to keep my job.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna send Lil Dion after you too. He ain't got to play in the NFL,
yeah. Lil Dion ready,
right? Somebody finna get this.
And that's the Sanders, they still from Florida now,
right? On Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shedeur, what I did was completely unexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry. It took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of my life. And I made a terrible mistake, messed that moment up. Thank you for accepting my phone call earlier. Hopefully you can find it in your heart to forgive me. See, I don't like that part. I don't like that we always are the group that has to forgive. Why us? We'll never get that. And that's my frustration. But
I ain't forgiving nothing. I released my own statement. Shedeur ain't the forgiving type. Remember, the Colorado State quarterback was talking greasy.
Right.
And he went right up to him after the game.
Shedeur got a little bit of Baker Mayfield to him too, where you know what? You did it. Now you did it. And it's done. Yeah. And when I see you, we shall see each other.
Well, let's talk about Shedeur and Baker Mayfield. Shedeur got a little Baker Mayfield in him. But he was penalized for it.
Right.
He was penalized.
That.
So, as y'all know, the controversy, Shedeur, the number 2 quarterback on draft boards by literally everybody, didn't go in the first round. Cool. He ended up going 5th round, which is what I disagree with. I'm okay with Shedeur not going in the first round. This quarterback class is extremely underwhelming. Outside of Cam and Shedeur, there is a giant drop-off. I'm not sold on Jackson Dart. This may be coming from an emotional place because of what's happened to Shedeur, but I'm not really sold on Ole Miss quarterbacks. So that's like UGA quarterbacks. The last UGA quarterback was good was Matt Stafford. The last Ole Miss quarterback that was good was Eli Manning.
And that's what I think that they're gonna keep shooting for Eli. And if Jackson Dart ain't good, then they're gonna be like, well, Arch, can we try? You want to come here now? Like they got, and this is the other part, and the elephant, and it's not the elephant in the room, it's understood. New York Giants do not draft black quarterbacks. That's always been a thing and never been a thing. It's never gonna happen. And this is kind of tricky because I think that he didn't do himself any favors with some of the stuff he said pre-draft. When you tell these guys who are billionaires, hey, if you want to change your organization, then get you or me. These guys, like we talk about Matt Ishbia, they think that they know everything already. So you coming in telling them like, oh, this is what I am. I would say for me as an owner, if you told me that, it probably not rubbed me the right way.
Man, fuck out of here. When other players say that stupid ass shit, they come out there and be like, oh, I love his confidence. I love the fact that he's good. He's a culture guy. I can build the locker room around him. He's a leader of men. Nah, y'all just don't like Shedeur. Call a spade a spade. Call a spade a spade, bro. Call a spade a spade.
The other part about that is Shedeur doesn't really have one thing that jumps off the page of the reason that you have to have him.
Don't fucking matter. He's the number 2 quarterback. How many drafts we saw a draft where Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, Colt McCoy, and everybody else that was trash went in the first fucking round. They were all trash. Wasn't that the same draft for Baker Mayfield? Wasn't that the Baker Mayfield draft?
Johnny Manziel and Baker were not in the same draft, I don't think. But I honestly, and this is just me, I don't think that Johnny sucked. I think that going to the Browns, which is the unfortunate situation here,
you out your mind. Johnny sucked. Johnny was not built for the NFL.
Okay. And they
Johnny too short.
Same thing they said about Baker Mayfield. Same everything that they said about Johnny Manziel, they said about Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield had uncanny accuracy. Baker Mayfield, the reason that Baker Mayfield is a controversial number one pick is because everything he did off the field. He grabbed nuts, told y'all to suck his dick. He had domestic dispute. What?
He said grab nuts. It's great.
He did. He was on the sideline telling y'all he planted the flag on Ohio State's field. He grabbed his nuts at Candace and told y'all to suck his dick. He went over there to he had domestic
football.
He had domestic divide, and I don't want to. I'm really not trying to shit on Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield has built himself up from the bottom. He was given up on. He was blamed and given up on.
Which is the reason
changed his ways.
Which is the reason I hate the Shedeur.
But it's the truth though. He had all of these issues. He's had all of these issues, and he was still drafted number one. You have other quarterbacks who have fathers have told you that he is not going here. I am not going to San Diego. If you draft me, you better trade me or I'm leaving. Eli Manning. You had John Elway said, I'm going to go play baseball. I don't even want to go here. Why are we talking? There's no reason for us to have the conversation. You've had helicopter parents mentor their kids all the way up to being pros. But when a black father does it, all of a sudden it's too bad. Shout out to LeBron. Hey, I'm sorry. I criticize you for Bronny. I still don't believe he should have been drafted where he was. But fuck it. Use nepotism. Use it.
But the other part is most of them don't have the same size personality as Dion.
Go ahead.
That comes with it. And when you say this thing 7 years ago, ain't no way he going there. There's also, we started out with like, there are not that many teams with quarterbacks. I mean, that need quarterbacks at this point. Now, I think that some of those teams, which we will get into here, historically,
they are stupid as fuck. I'm here now.
That's the other part is the teams that needed quarterback are the remedial teams. And then they went out and were as remedial as you believe them to all be. They all showed us. Let's look at Cleveland. Let's just look at the situation here.
You stupid people.
First of all, for the people who don't know, most teams carry two quarterbacks, and then they have like a third guy who's somewhere between like emergency quarterback and a practice squad guy. The Cleveland Browns have 5 quarterbacks. They have Deshaun Watson, who I believe, will be out for the season. You have Lil Ham Pickett, who I don't know why you picked him. You have Flacco.
Man Joe. And the Hawaiian professional college football player, and Dylan 25-year-old Gabriel. Don't give y'all can't explain. And listen, I'm here now. I'm here. This gonna be we here. I listen to all the figureheads of football talk about Shedeur sliding out the first round. Cool. You gotta eat that. It is what it is. Shit happens. Aaron Rodgers was 32. Lamar Jackson was 31 or whatever. It happens. Y'all ain't gonna sit here and tell me that Dylan Gabriel is in the same class as Shedeur. Not at all. Y'all not gonna sit here and tell me that you are going to go into the season with Lil Hands Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Joe Flacco as your quarterback room. There's nobody else to trade for unless you're going to go get Kirk Cousins.
Wait. This is also the team that you just saw have the pick and be available to draft Abdul Carter. and turn Abdul Carter into Mason Graham.
Mason Short Arms Graham.
Right. This is not a team that makes good decisions. So I know your frustration is there, but let's be real. And I saw you troll Tremaine on about their draft. If these teams, and I tell y'all this every year, your team is mostly who your team is going to be. Now, every now and then you will have teams who will make fundamental changes where they go from one era into another era where they really change. Cleveland Browns, I'm pretty sure, are still not there. It's going to get worse before it gets any better.
So they were there for 2 years out of the last 30.
But they've always this is the team with the jersey with 30 quarterbacks on it because they get one every year. This is this is the most Cleveland.
Now you want to make a stand. Sorry, yes.
But I mean, no, it's like certain people are just poor decision makers.
And Browns, you know what? You know how poor of a decision maker they are? They didn't want to draft Shedeur in the 5th round. That's the funny part.
Right.
When you saw him get drafted, they weren't happy.
You can't even be
steal.
forced. You can't even be forced into making good decisions. You just committed to being dumb. So
let me tell you, GM Andrew Berry, you full of shit too. Because at the introductory press conference or the press conference, not introduction, when you were talking about the draft, instead of you praised every other player and then said Shedeur's not going to have anything handed to him. The hell he ain't. You got Little Hands Pickett, Old Joe, and Hawaiian Dylan.
This is the part that doesn't make sense to me is, all right, we're going to go ahead for all intents and purposes. We can just move Watson out of the way. How are you supposed to figure out with 4 quarterbacks? Who's your quarterback 1?
You know who the quarterback 1 is.
Who?
It's either going to be Joe or Shedeur.
No.
It's not Dylan Gabriel. We can move Dylan Gabriel out the way too. And if you do that, I hope all y'all get fired on game 2.
I'm going to tell you why you can't, because, I mean, there is a hierarchy here. I think that Joe is probably QB1. But if I'm Dylan Gabriel, and once again, I was drafted higher than Shedeur. I'm going to get the reps before Shedeur. Now, Shedeur, once we get into quarterback competition,
collusion.
Once you get into quarterback competition, jobs can be lost, jobs can be won. But on day 1, you would assume that it's Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, Shedeur.
The Browns deserve to be who they are. You deserve to add 4 more names to your jersey, you trash-ass organization.
Exactly. And that's the part where, like, the teams that didn't pick them, they don't make good decisions. So this everybody's mad about the Saints picking Tyler Slew or whatever his name is. Now
that's his name, Slew. Tyler Slew. We don't know his real name. He's Slew.
The veterans are in love with him because this is where
because he's a veteran. That's why he's 27.
Well, that's a little tricky because you also saw that the guys last year who had played before, Bo Nix is probably what saved him. You see the Bo Nixes of the world and you say he's the most mature. He's also, I do have to give him credit. He is the biggest and he's the fastest. He's just old, but he's like 6'5", 230 or something. He is what's like, and you have to remember, a lot of these people like to draft quarterbacks off of prototypical Caucasian measurables. Is he really big and fast and strong? Then yeah, that's the guy who I want. Do I think that that's the right answer? No, because I don't think
tight end number 2, Taysom Hill number 3, Matt Jones number 4 in 2 years. He's ass. If he was good, he would have been in the league 4 years ago. Yeah. He went to high school with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy about to sign a contract. His second.
I mean, I hate to say it, he sounds black though. He's 6'5". I don't think he runs a 4.5.
I don't, man. Put him at tight end. That's Jeremy Shockey. Put him at tight end.
Right. But I mean, that was because I read everything. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you want to know who I think is the best quarterback in this room?
Me?
Spencer Rattler.
Me.
I think
Yeah.
Spencer. I think
He
Rattler.
probably is. He is. And that's sad. Shout out to Spencer Rattler. No shade, but that's sad. That's sad. It ain't no ain't nothing personal. But if you the best quarterback in the room in the NFL, then
I like Spence. Like,
you think he's starting quarterback?
For the Saints, yes.
Is he a starting quarterback in the NFL?
Yes, because there's always 7 teams at the bottom that are going to need
not off circumstance, off talent.
No. No. But
he's Desmond Ritter to me. He fancy Desmond Ritter.
I mean, I think he probably throws the ball a little bit better. But the other
fancy,
part is
exactly fancy Desmond Ritter. Fancy. Throw a little paprika on there.
I mean, paprika is the difference in a dish sometimes. But Derek Carr,
bad dish.
This is the other part, though. This is not a good situation to go to. That's the part about Shedeur more than anything. There was no place to go where it was good. And we also have to say that the Seahawks
Pittsburgh, what the fuck? Pittsburgh, you drafted the boy from Ohio State. Y'all keep trying to be up here and rationalize this bullshit that y'all talking about. This was some bullshit.
Wait. Mason Graham is not going to be a monster. You don't have to worry about that at all. He might have a Monster Energy drink, but will he be one? No, I'm not concerned about him at all. You should have taken, if you're going to flip that pick into Mason Graham, you should have took Abdul Carter. I do like Milroe to the Seahawks. I think that was a good pickup. I think that if Sam Darnold doesn't work out, great. If Sam Darnold does work out, hey, you're not gonna play quarterback, kid. you won't play some other positions around there.
That's cool. You can feel that way about all of them. None of them were the number 2 quarterback in the draft. None of them. Not one. I don't know of any number 2 quarterback in the draft that fell to the 5th round.
And shout out to the Saints for paying Derek Carr that money and then being stuck. You guys are looking terrible. Oh, it ain't no sneaky. You sound crazy. One thing that I did want to go back to as we talk about teams kind of doing. Oh, let's do this. Let's do more Stewart first. The Giants have done what the Giants always do. You draft a great defensive player and you reach at quarterback. It's literally the same thing again. First time Dexter Lawrence and Daniel Jones, who was never good. Now you're Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart.
Who's never good.
But this is what happens to teams that make poor decisions. You don't just start making good decisions one day. This is what happens. This is who they are, and this is who they're always going to be.
Shout out to you, Brian Daboll. You're going to be Brian Daboll and that president, Joe, what's his name? Is it Sean?
Fire.
Y'all about to build, because they actually had a really good draft. The Giants had a really good draft.
They built a defense for somebody else.
That defense is going to be insane, and it's going to be good for a defensive coach who's going to have a young and upcoming offensive coordinator.
Brian Flores.
It's going to happen. Because they've got everybody. And let me tell you what Brian Flores does. He plays all the right people.
You know what you could really do to be the most evil? Because I can feel it. Brian Flores, head coach, multiracial McDaniel, offensive coordinator. Now, I don't think that the Giants would ever do that because that's way too many black people. But if I'm
Brian Flores, I would, because they're going to trade one of those defensive. They've got too many edge rushers per se. They like Jacksonville and just play them all, but that's not normally what they do. So they're talking about trading Kayvon Thibodeau. If I were the Giants, I would have drafted Shedeur. I'd have fired them, and I would have had Shedeur up there with Malik Neighbors and Abdul Carter and Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns.
The Mara family is not interested in a black quarterback. I hate to say it.
That's fine. Plainly. That's fine. And y'all can be ass. Y'all can be ass because the black quarterback is the way of the future. Y'all keep trying. Y'all not looking at demographics. Y'all supposed to be billionaires and be able to project shit out. If you look at the demographics, the quarterbacks is turning black and the DBs is turning white and the receivers are turning white. Y'all need to figure out.
I ain't gonna say that either.
Y'all need to figure out. I'm exaggerating on the DBs, but they there though. It's more than one Jason Sehorn out there now. But what I'm saying is, if y'all sit in y'all racism, this has been my motto for 2025 all the time since Trump got y'all gonna sit in y'all shit. Sit in y'all shit. You wanted to elect a dumbass, excuse my language. You wanted to elect somebody that lied to you, sit in your shit. You want to play around with Shedeur, Andrew Berry.
I'm definitely calling him Tyler Slew. Slew. And then
y'all can
also,
be trash.
This is what happens. I mean, I hate that. Like the Bears won this, and the Bears historically have not made the greatest decisions. But this trade here is one of the worst. And I feel bad.
Possibly.
I feel bad for Bryce because it's nothing you did.
I don't think the Bears won this trade yet, to be honest.
I don't know how you could think it's even close.
What the Bears done did since that trade?
I mean, they also played in the hardest division and came in third, but just the assets. It's no way you can tell me, Reggie, that
you said they came in third.
Did they come in third? Lions, Packers,
no.
Bears,
Vikings. No, they didn't come in third.
Fourth. But look what you're dealing with, bro. I mean, but also besides that, there is no way in your right mind that you can tell me that if I'll give you Bryce Young, you give me everything on the left. And I need to do something so you can. I think you're missing something at the very bottom. DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, Caleb Williams, throwing a punter, and Luther Burden. You can't justify that. You can't. It's not justifiable.
DJ Moore for Bryce Young and Tyreek Stevenson and a pick. DJ Moore for Bryce Young. You needed a quarterback.
Right.
I get it. You needed a quarterback. Tyreek Stevenson lost them 2 games last year. You remember? The wave? You remember that?
You're right.
We don't know about the punter. Sure. If it was the only thing I can say is if he was a Pro Bowler or not, which he wasn't. Darnell Wright, we'll see. I don't know if he's one of the better bookend tackles. I haven't really heard of him. I'm not going to act like I know. Luther Burden, cool. We'll see what he turns out to be. Right now, Bryce Young, all intents and purposes, is better than Caleb Williams. Right now, he's better than Caleb Williams.
I don't know about that. I mean, Bryce almost got fired last year too. Now I think they're about equal at this point. Like I think they're equal, and that's the reason that if they're equal, then just the amount of assets that I got back.
This year will be telling because they both have now had teams that are built around them. Bryce Young, for the first time, I mean, you got stability. You've got stability and you got players, you got a defense, you got offensive line, you got running backs, you got tight ends, you got wide receivers.
See, I don't think
Caleb Williams, they built everything around him, and they got to get a new coach.
I don't think that even this year can, because both of these guys are still kind of in bad situations as far as, I mean, Bryce could have a good year, but he's still probably going he'll be lucky to be third. Let's be real here. And for all intents and purposes, Bryce is probably the worst quarterback in the NFC South right now. But
are you crazy? We just showed you the Saints.
I think that Derek Carr will probably have a better season than Bryce Young next year.
Derek Carr is not going to play. He is going to be out. That's why they drafted a quarterback. His shoulder is hurt. He is in jeopardy of missing the season.
Well, in that case, then you third? Oh, Derek Carr confirms he has shoulder injury, pushes back against critics. I mean, I think that this will be like a 4 or 5 year look back and then decide. I don't want to make a knee-jerk decision about either one of these guys, considering both of them are probably, if they're lucky, third in their division.
Exactly. So it's hard for me to say that you're gonna win this trade.
But
Hell,
you could get
off of Tyreek Stevenson this year.
Right, but I think that especially Luther Burden, I think he was a steal. And now the offense
concerns. I mean, yeah, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, I would have took the 6 assets versus the 1 asset for me, just personally.
It could go both ways. It could work, or it could be Julio in Cleveland.
But Bryce ain't gonna be Julio. I don't think that.
I don't think anybody.
I don't think that Bryce is gonna be that much better than Caleb Williams.
No. What you're missing is that they gave up 6 assets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 assets to get instead of Julio Jones. The Falcons gave us 6 assets to get Julio Jones, and it planned out. They thought Greg Little was supposed to be the next Josh Gordon, or Josh Gordon wasn't like he was 6'4", 220 that ran a 4.4 and all of those things. None of that shit worked out. Tyree Stevenson has not worked out so far. I don't care about the punter. Luther Burden, you hope works out, but you never know. Bryce has at least shown flashes. Now, Caleb Williams, he may be good next year. You never, but again, he's also in the division. We may never know how good Caleb Williams is.
Right.
Because that division's crazy.
That's the part I'm like, it's tough for you, bro, because now I will say Minnesota gonna look different this year. I think that you need to be.
Y'all told me I was stupid on TikTok. Let me go right here. I'm gonna change the view a little bit.
I think that I'm gonna change the view. I think you could be the 3rd best quarterback in there. I don't know if you could be better. I don't know if you're gonna be better than Jordan Love and Jared Goff. I think that's tough. That sucks. But
let me jump in here real quick and blow a little bit, just a little bit. Y'all told me I was stupid on TikTok when I said, "Hey, hey, Minnesota Vikings. Let me introduce you to somebody you know. His name's Kirk Cousins. He's cheaper now. You can take him back. Just send us 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick. We good to go." Oh, they'll never take Kirk. You're out of your mind. You're crazy. What was released this week? Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, Minnesota Vikings are all interested, allegedly, in Kirk Cousins.
I think that's toast now. I can't imagine that Cleveland is
Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland's not going to get him, but Pittsburgh and Minnesota.
Well, Pittsburgh don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, so they have to still be. I mean, that's what it literally says. Kirk Cousins could be target for Steelers if Aaron Rodgers deal falls through. And
Minnesota is the 3rd team.
This is my thing with Minnesota
and the Saints. I guess they said they trade them to the Saints if they want to. If they said the package right, we'll take a pick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Minnesota. I can't assume can take the money because of the way they restructure.
Who they paying? They got a bunch of rookies.
Derek Carr.
Minnesota, you said.
Oh, Minnesota. If you go get Kirk Cousins, to me, you look stupid. You should have just kept Sam Darnold.
Yes. But the name of this segment is The Stupids.
Fair enough. That'd be my issue. I'd be trying to make sense of things that stupid people do, and I don't do stupid things a lot, so not for me. You want to talk about the Cowboys?
The Stupids. What's up, Sneaky? I wanted to talk about the Stupids. The Cowboys had the number 12 pick, right? I don't know who they drafted at number 12. I should have had it up here. I think I do have it up here.
I think Anthony Richardson is quarterback or bust. I think Jalen Milroe is anything else. Maybe I'm crazy.
You are crazy because Anthony Richardson and Jalen Milroe, to me, are in the same boat. But let me get to Dallas. Here it is, Dallas. Y'all drafted Tyler Booker 1st round. Cool. Then y'all let it leak that y'all wanted Tet, but the Panthers took him at 9. Why, if Tet was your guy to get Dak and pair with CD, which is what you need, why would you not trade up? It's only 3 spots. You had a bevy of picks. Yeah, you had a bevy of picks. You had 2 fifths, 3 sevenths, a 6th, 3rd, and a 2nd. You could have moved up, give a 3rd and a 5th. You could have moved up 3 spots and got Tet. Why would you release that saying we wanted Tet now? Well, I know why you say it, because everybody's calling you out. But why would you release that now? And make no mistake, Dallas is a great drafting team. I think Tyler Booker was a fantastic pickup.
Oh, yeah. It made perfect sense. I was like, I see what they're doing. They're rebuilding the line. My bad. I'm getting on out your way.
But why would you release that you're going after Tet? You make yourself look crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, that's stupid.
Why didn't you go get another receiver? There were other guys to get.
Yeah, they got no receivers.
Yeah, you got none. Like, even if you didn't get Tet, and I think there are some parts about Tet that everybody doesn't love, and I get it. I think that in Dallas he works 97%, but you could have got. I think Matthew Golden was available. Luther Burden hung out for forever. Like there were other guys who you could have gotten, and now I look on my phone today and I hear Dallas Cowboys and Amari Cooper, and I'm like, what year is it?
Again.
Right.
2017. I mean, and Dallas had a good draft. I think that Jaden Blue draft pick was great, because you're gonna pair him with the other running back they got now, and Jaden Blue runs a 4.3.
And they got another kid from Clemson.
Yeah, Phil Maffa, who's going to be your power back. You have Siobhan Revel, who is the 6'2" corner. I think you needed him. But if I'm looking at this through the lens of a Falcons fan, from this draft, we needed an edge rusher. We double dipped that edge rusher. If y'all needed a wide receiver, why not double dip at the wide receiver? You had a lot of receivers on the board. Y'all still, I know, Jerry, you tried to clean up your act. You don't want the crazy people on your team no more. Listen, you won Super Bowls with cocaine. Go ahead and try Isaiah Bond out. He may have turned over a new leaf.
Nah,
cost you nothing.
You know the guy who they should
Texas.
go get? You know the guy they should go get? Who I think will be perfect?
Keenan Allen.
No, number one, it's a bunch of those Keenan Allen type of guys, but I will go after Pickens. He's a Jerry guy. Give me a crazy.
Yeah, he the new Michael Irvin.
Right.
Yeah. What would you give up for him though? Because they're gonna want something.
I give
Cooper
you
Rush. They need quarterback.
Rush. No, Cooper Rush somewhere else. I give you probably a third.
I don't know if you give up a third for Pickens, or you get Pickens up for a third.
A fourth?
No. It'd be a second.
Okay, then I'll just wait for him to bite somebody on your team, and then you have to trade him. I ain't playing with you either. Okay. You better figure it out.
No, all right, and I'll wait for you to have CeeDee Lamb threaten to leave, and Dak Prescott upset after you paying him $60 million, and then you'll have to give me a second round pick. Ain't too many other places you can go to get a receiver.
And you're not gonna like my answer, but I'm gonna tell you I think the Falcons won this draft. I think, and I'm gonna tell you why I think the Falcons won this draft for real. Because they won the draft last year. People forget about that. Drafting
y'all better apologize to Big T.
Michael Penix Jr. draft last year has broken 2 drafts in a row. Yep. Like Michael Penix Jr. is single-handedly one of the most influential players in like the last 3 years of football for just when he got drafted. Because we drafted the number 1 quarterback. This is the same way that I feel about Pierce. And that second first-round pick, it's the same way I feel about Michael Penix in that last year's draft. Bruh, if you draft a guy and he's the best quarterback in next year's draft, then you won. Could you imagine if we did not have Michael Penix and we would have tried to find a quarterback in this ghetto draft here?
Shedeur. I like Arizona's draft a lot. They got Walter Nolan in the first, who can play pretty much every position on the defensive line. Will Johnson fell to them in the second round, and they got him. Jordan Birch, 6'6", 6'4" defensive end, edge setter there. Cody Simon. They got Denzel Burke at cornerback. They got an offensive guard, and then they got Keaton Crawford, who is a hard hitting safety from Nevada. I really like their draft.
Bucks had good
draft. What's frustrating is the people that really I got to see their whole draft. But the goddamn Ravens, bro. Every year.
Well, you gotta take the Ravens draft with a grain of salt. Do you get Malachi? Yes. Do you get Mike Green? Yes. But did you address wide receiver? No. It's like
no. I mean, they never addressed wide receiver. I'm surprised they drafted LeJohntay Webster. To be honest, I didn't expect them to draft the wide receiver at all. But for the value, they got to be like number 2 behind us in value.
I mean, they had a Malachi Starks and Mike Green.
Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton together is a. They're talking about Malachi Starks play safety like Ed Reed.
But you don't never do anything on offense until
Carolina had a good draft. Carolina had a really good draft. Carolina had a really, really good draft.
They did. They have turned there's a dogfight for the bottom of the NFC South too, and everybody don't want to be there. The NFC South is slowly kind of. I know people have talked a lot of trash about. Oh, it's not that good. They trying to do something.
Yeah, better watch out for Detroit. They didn't learn from the Eagles. Look, we're going to draft all the Georgia players. Shout out to the Eagles. Let me see the Eagles draft. The Eagles got Jahad Campbell, who I'm not gonna lie to you. If we didn't get Jalen Walker, I wanted us to draft him.
Right.
I knew Michael Walker wasn't gonna be there.
Yeah, me too.
But Jahad Campbell can play rush end and linebacker, which is what they need because they lost Josh Sweat and Nakobe Dean is hurt. So you've got him.
Sidebar.
Jahad Campbell. Huh?
I love Tari Eason and Draymond. Like, you can tell Draymond is really teaching Tari Eason just about basketball. But Amen Thompson don't want to hear that shit. Bruh, you can do that on your own time, dog. You're not our coach. You're not playing on our team.
Yeah.
But
he's looking at it like, nah, you trying to get it's mind games.
Right. But you can see that like Draymond is also like, I mean, he's getting to the point where he's the elder statesman too. Like, bro, let me try to leave my mark on the game. And you could tell they were just talking, and Amen walked over. He's like, bro, we're just having a conversation. Like, we playing.
But I really do like what the Eagles did with Jahad Campbell, Andrew Makuba, who's gonna replace is a really good zone corner who's gonna replace CJ Gardner-Johnson.
I don't want to hear none of that. Reggie Falcons won the draft, baby.
They got Smael Mundon, the coverage linebacker from UGA. I was so mad we didn't get him. And then they added depth everywhere else.
Dog, what are they gonna do with Nick Chubb, man? It's a lot of free agents still available, just hanging out, waiting on their chance.
I think the Falcons did win the draft. Who had the dumbest draft? The Saints.
Yeah,
which is another win for me.
Right.
I don't know what they do with Nick Chubb. I think
Nick Chubb
should go.
What does he do with himself?
To the Chiefs. That's where I would go.
That's
to the
always
Chiefs.
The answer, bro. What else I got to do?
You ain't gonna have no stack box. Pause if necessary, because you got Patrick Mahomes has already said we about to open up this offense again. About to take top off this offense. He done cut his hair off. He got a fade, full Negro fade too. Ain't no mohawk, ain't no mullet, ain't no party.
Aaron Rodgers still available. Keenan Allen, Von Miller, Amari Cooper, Brandon Sheriff, Marcus Williams, Matthew Judon, James Bradbury, Shaq Mason, Zadarius Smith, who I might be interested in, CJ Mosley, Justin Simmons still doesn't have a job, Stephon Gilmore still doesn't have a job.
I don't want Stephon Gilmore.
What else?
What did Tennessee do this draft? That's one team I didn't really hear much about after the first round. Also, why they did Cam like that? They ain't interview him on the stage. They ain't talk about him. They just move right on to Shedeur.
Because that's where the clicks are.
That's sad. That's crappy.
No, it's not. That's good. Reminding people. Hey.
Tennessee had a good tight end, actually. I mean, had a good draft. They had a really good draft.
It ain't a ton left in free agency, but there's some players. But with that being said, we have come to the end of episode 188. Thank you guys for rocking with us as we have covered literally everything. Playoff basketball, HBCU. We got into the weeds here at the end about the draft, and I loved every moment of it. Once again, shout out to the Falcons for making the right decision. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. What you got to say to close us out, big dog?
Same thing I say everything. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of episode 188 of SplashCast Monday Night Raw. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Nord, if I miss anything, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one. More black baseball. Shout out to Mike Harris holding down the outfield for the Bravos. More black baseball. Number two, more black Cowboys and more black Cowgirls and putting the fans back. Number 3, the historically black college and university. Your cousin went to, your auntie went to, you went to, the person used to laugh and kiki in the back of church went to. Send some money over there. The historically black college and university in the place where you live. The one you go for homecoming, step shows, vibes, to be around your people. Send some money over there. And then finally, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. We only ask for $18.68 on behalf of the year the university was founded. Remember, we are here to support HBCUs. Outside of that, God is love. Adios, mi amigos. Until we meet again, y'all be safe. We are out of this thing. See y'all later.
T's and P's to Kevin Love on the passing of his father.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The show is produced by Creative Logic Solutions. Whether the project is big or small, let Creative Logic Solutions help bring your vision to life. Catch our latest episodes and stay updated with the world of sports by tuning in to the podcast live on Mondays or catch the re-air on Dive Team Media Network, where you can also check out other Dive Team Media content as well. For collaboration, booking information, or any other inquiries, visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com. Every listen, share, and review is appreciated. Until next time.
What should they do? Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Be here for it.